And we are live. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the whole wide world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, there's a whole lot going on with Tucker Carlson. Why was he fired from Fox News? Is it because of Rupert Murdoch and the ex-fiance? Is it because of the Dominion lawsuit? Is it because of other things at the network? Did he get too close to the truth? Did he get too close to the light? Did he say too much for mainstream media, even on Fox? We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, they're going to make some permanent changes over at Fox, or at least for the interim. There'll be some new changes. Who's going to be in Tucker's old time slot? Who's going to come after him? What's going on with Fox News' nightly lineup? We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, New York City parents, they are fed up with what's going on in New York City because of all the illegal immigrants coming into the country. And they're coming right there to their backyard. Hey, I guess they are cool with illegal immigration as long as it's not in their backyard. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, artificial intelligence, it is out of control. It's not getting out of control. It is out of control. And I think by the time we realize it, it'll be a little bit too late. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We have a whole lot going on, a whole lot happening. Oh man, I don't even know where to begin, where to start. I ain't even get through all my topics yet, just in the intro. Areanah, Preston, that's a really big one. They had a service, like a sea of blue in Chicago for Areanah, Preston today. We got to talk about Morant. You making $200 million in the NBA, yet you still want to be a gangbanger in the streets. Why? I don't understand. Why you want to be 25 years old just now, starting to join the criminal gang? Doesn't make any sense. We'll talk about all of that. We got a whole lot going on. But before we get into anything, shout out to all the sponsors. Shout out to PatriotPost.us, your best source of news and information. Visit them through the link in the box, or just go straight to the website, PatriotPost.us. Also, go to my regular website, AnthonyBLogan.com. Y'all know what it is. You could go to the front page of the website, and for every video that I produce, I write an article to go with it, so I can always show you my sources. I can provide you uncensored video as long as it's not illegal of whatever I'm talking about. That'll be right there on the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also, go to the contact page of the website to find my email address, my snail mail address, on my social media accounts, everything. And if you ever want to know, hey, am I talking to the real ABL or is it AI? Is it a bot? What's going on? Is it a Nigerian trying to scam me from Lagos somewhere? If you're wondering about that, just go to the contact page of the website. You'll see all my contact info right there. If it's not on there, it's not me. And I'm never going to talk to you about anything that seems too good to be true, okay? I don't have the key to wealth and success and all that good stuff. I don't have it. So if you see a comment from me replying to one of your comments on my video talking about contact me on some random 25-digit phone number on WhatsApp or something like that, I promise that's not me. Don't get scammed. Ain't nobody got no time for that. I know I say it all the time, but I still get emails and DMs all the time. Not only on YouTube are there impersonators, but I also get that on Instagram. This is part of the reason why I bought the badge on Twitter and Instagram, because you got to go through a lot. Actually, you can't even fake it. Twitter is kind of janky with their verification. You could just pay it and you'll be verified. So theoretically, a troll could pay $8 to impersonate me. But I mean, if you're going to pay money to impersonate somebody, you got some dedication. But the way it is on Facebook and Instagram, you got to show your ID and actually go through some real verification. So that eliminates that. So if you don't see the little verification badge on Instagram, Facebook, it's not me. Same thing, YouTube, don't get scammed. Ain't nobody got no time for that. It's 2023. We're trying to really go forward in a positive way. So that's that. AnthonyBLogan.com, PatriotPost.us, ABL merch for all the merch, hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more. Visit all my links, everything in the description box below the video. This is also a podcast you're listening to right now, and it'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Stitch, Anchor, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Subscribe to me over there. Give me a 5-star rating. Give me a review. Do whatever you can. I most certainly appreciate you. Now, we have a whole lot going on. Yes, it is Wednesday already. The time is flying. And before you know it, it'll be the dog days of summertime, right? We'll be right in the midst of the primary season. It'll be a whole lot going on. So where do I begin tonight? There is so much going on. I kind of want to jump straight into Tucker Carlson and all that good stuff, but I think I'm going to start with the illegal aliens and the New York City parents. Now, I did my video, of course, earlier about that, but I have more content, more context, more video. Hold on, let me see. Illegal aliens, New York City parents. Yeah, I have this video from News Nation. I got CBS New York. I got quite a few videos. Okay, now we all know what's happening in a lot of big cities across the nation. A lot of these liberal cities. There's Chicago, Illinois, New York, all over the place. And of course, on the border where they don't want this to happen, a lot of these big cities, and it was the same thing in Martha's Vineyard. Remember the whole thing in Martha's Vineyard where all the illegal aliens got sent from Texas, but I think it was a bus chartered by DeSantis in Florida. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But remember when they came to Martha's Vineyard and then they all got deported within 48 hours to some like a military base or something like that? Hold on. Let me see if I can find that one, because that whole thing was completely crazy. Yeah, it was a mess. It was a whole big mess. This is back in September of last year. Okay. Yeah, this was so cringe when they left. People were crying. It's like, what you crying for? You crying that they're leaving? Hey, I mean, if you sad that they're leaving, let them stay. Let them stay in your house. And the funny part about Martha's Vineyard, it shows how hypocritical these people are, because they'll say things like, if you have a bunch of vacant properties, let the homeless people live there, all this and that. Now, Martha's Vineyard is a vacation spot, right? People have properties that they don't live in all year up there. So there's quite a few empty homes up there during the year. Remember this. Wait a minute. Remember this right here. You see the illegal alien. You pretty much spot him out right there. You know who's on the island. You know who lives on the island, who doesn't live on the island. Okay. Or whatever that is, the isthmus, the peninsula, whatever Martha's Vineyard is. You could tell pretty much who's there. Now you got this big smiling cheesy picture. Cheese, everybody smile for the camera. And this was right before they got back on a boat to go somewhere else. You can't go home, but you got to get the H up out of here. Don't stay here in Martha's Vineyard. Remember that. These are the same people that say, bring them all. Let's honor the Statue of Liberty. The poem that was added later as part of a fundraiser, which was not part of the United States mantra, which is so dumb, talking about bring us your tired and your weary. Some rando wrote that poem in the 1900s, and nothing to do with the founding of this nation. It's like, look, that's not, I don't abide by that. You know, if you having a hard time in your life, okay, I understand, but you can't break in my crib. Like, look, I'm growing hard. I sacrificed years of my life to get to where I'm at today. Had a lot of dark nights. Okay, I done all that. And then here you want to come just and invade my space, do whatever you want to do because you got a hard life. Well, no, hey, check it out. We got a thing called Castle Doctrine, Second Amendment rights. You're going to get blown straight back to Honduras or wherever you came from. I suggest you get out of my house. You can't break into my house because you got a hard life. Same thing breaking into the country. It's like, look, I know you have a hard life coming from Shanghai, China to the Mexico-U.S. border. I understand that. How'd you get here? first class flight straight from Beijing, okay, straight to Panama, and you took taxis and everything else. You probably flew from Panama to Belize to everywhere else all throughout Central America. Then you came to the southern border to sneak in illegally. You're having a hard life. Okay, cool. But guess what? How about you go back? Ain't no ni hao ma, ain't none of that. Go right back to China. Ain't nobody got time for that. But anyway, I digress. The point is that these people say they have a hard life, say they're having a hard time, and then they use that as a reason to justify them breaking and entering into our country. I'm not going for it. I'm not going for it. And a lot of the parents in New York City are not going for it as well. But the problem is that a lot of them had no issue with it until it affected them. You see, they had no issue. It was all good. Everything was just fine when it's not in their backyard. You know, the NIMBYs, not in my backyard. They have no issue with the illegal aliens. And even still, with all of what's going on, I saw quite a few signs out there that were in support of the illegal aliens. Let me see if I can find some of these signs, because we saw some of the videos, but the videos didn't really do it any justice. Hold on, let me see. Parents, protests. Yeah, there we go. So let me see if I can find some of these here. Some of these protest signs, and we can get a clear image of what's happening. Okay. Now, some of these signs make sense. Some of them don't really make a whole lot of sense. Let's check it out right here. So here's one. Mayor Adams, my school is no hotel. I want to go to school safe, please. Mayor Adams, school gyms are not homes. Here's one right here. Do you see this? Do you see that sign right in the center? See, that right there is a problem. Okay, that is a problem. You see what it says? It says, give refugees better homes. Huh? Why are you out there protesting like that? See, that is not the problem. And for a little bit of context, in New York City, they identified 20 school gymnasiums to house the illegal aliens, at least temporarily, until they can get them somewhere else. And that was where they're going to go from the gymnasium. They had all kind of cots and whatnot on the floor of the gym, in the basketball gym, until they can go somewhere else. Now, the parents don't want this, obviously, because you don't know where these illegal aliens are coming from. You don't know what they have. They could have C-19, tuberculosis, monkeypox. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm going to talk about monkeypox a little bit later. That's a very interesting. I might do a video about that, actually, because that's very interesting. Do you know they now call monkeypox M-pox? I promise on everything, hand to the sky, I am not making this up. The letter M-pox as one word, M-pox. Like Hanson, Bop. Remember that song from the 90s? M-pox. And they're talking about, oh, well, you know, we got gatherings coming up. We have gatherings coming up, so there could be an outbreak of M-pox. What kind of gatherings are coming up next month? What's next month? Y'all tell me. I ain't going to say it. What kind of gatherings are going to be happening next month that the quote-unquote M-pox would come back? But I digress. Anyway. Let's get back to it. I'm going to talk about M-pox in a minute. This is the problem. Give refugees better homes. No, they need to go back home. They have a home. Okay, they have a home. They got a better home in whatever their native country is. They got a better home in China. They got a better home in Africa. They got a better home in Europe. They got a better home in South America, Central America, wherever they come from. They got a better home there. They got a better home in Haiti, Cuba, Dominican, wherever. Not here in the States, not in your local school gymnasium. Huh? So here's another one. Refugees need better homes, not our school gym. No. That's probably the mom and the daughter right there. See, you telling your daughter the wrong thing, mama. You telling her the wrong thing. They need to go back home. I don't know where y'all came from. You might be native New Yorkers. I don't know what's happening here. Okay. I don't know what's going on, but that ain't it. They need to go back to the crib. Okay. Here's another one. This is an invasion to our schools, and it also has different languages. The Spanish right there, very interesting. Can we just be English or no? Is that not what we do? But yeah. And then here's another one. We want our gyms back, keep us safe. We need recess. No recess, no gyms, no asylum on school grounds. I agree with that. Here's more. We need our gym. The gym is for our kids. I want to go to school safe, please. That's some of the signs we saw earlier, just a little bit lower quality. Here's another one. Children need recess, no asylum on school property. I need recess with a smile, with an upside down smiley face, with a frowny face. No asylums on school property. Some of the same copy and paste type signs right there. All right. Children need recess, no asylums on school property. And the thing about what's happening with them taking over the school gymnasium is that the kids are not allowed to go there because it'd be, quote unquote, interfering with the migrants. So the preference is given to the illegal aliens and not your children going to school. You're the taxpayer. You're the one funding the operation, but you can't even take advantage of it, right? There was one Meemaw, her granddaughter was getting occupational therapy at the gym, but that's over with because of the migrants coming in, taking it over. You're not even allowed to go there as a student. It's your school, it's your gym, but you can't even go there because of the illegal aliens coming in. But see, here's the problem. Here's a problem. Most people that are not these kids right here, but the parents, to go back to them. Most of these adults voted for this kind of stuff. They voted for it. If you vote for Eric Adams, Kathy Hochul, and before him, Andrew Cuomo, Joe Biden, if you vote for these people in your local government, your federal government, that all campaign on illegal immigration, migrants, all this and that, you voted for what's happening right now. As I said earlier, they just don't want it in their backyard. They're NIMBYs, not in my backyard, NIMBY. That's them. It's the same thing happening in Chicago in the black community where they're talking about the illegal aliens taking over a school and they don't want them there. Well, check it out. In 2020, you voted nearly 100% for Joe Biden. 97% for Joe Biden in 2020 you voted. So what do you expect? He ran on the campaign of surging the border, and the border's being surged. But now you got to deal with it. See, it's fine when you have the border towns being overrun, McAllen, Texas, places like that, El Paso, Texas, Brownsville, whatever. It's okay when they're being overrun with illegal aliens. But when you got to deal with it, all of a sudden, now we got a problem. I say keep flooding them. Keep flooding them because maybe it'll get through at a certain point that this might not be the best thing going forward. And if your politicians locally, federally are saying it's a good thing for you and you can see that it's not a good thing, you might want to think a little bit differently. Just maybe. But, you know, I don't think they're really going to try to be, I don't think New York City or Chicago, Illinois will become MAGA country overnight because of the illegal alien situation. It doesn't make any sense for them to vote this way, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, I have another few videos. I got a couple videos that I want to show. Well, I got a lot more than a couple. I got a lot of videos for you guys that I've not played on the channel as of yet. A lot of exclusive stuff. Let's get to this one right here. Let's see if I get a little bit of sound. All right, let's get this one right here. This is about the illegal aliens. I don't believe I played this one. So you may get different people to come on here and give a testimony about what's happening in New York City.
They are running out of space. So New York City is planning to set up temporary migrant shelters at a dozen public schools, mostly in Brooklyn. Migrants will be housed in gymnasiums that
mostly in Brooklyn. Isn't that where a lot of black folks live? A lot of black and browns. Okay, why not Manhattan? Why not right there at Times Square? Okay, clear out Madison Square Garden. Let them stay right there. Why they got to go to Brooklyn? You see what I'm talking about? But this same community will vote overwhelmingly for the people that are doing this to them.
That are detached from the main school building. And the city is bracing for even more migrants. Just last week alone, more than 40.
They complained about the gentrification in Brooklyn. What about all the illegal aliens coming? And you know, all the things that are happening is your fault. You have control. You're living there. You're the taxpayer. You're the citizen. You're the voter. Everything that's going on is in your control at a certain point.
4,200 arrived in the city, and as many as 15 additional buses are expected this coming week. Kala Rama from our New York City affiliate is live. Kala, a lot of parents are not happy about this.
Can I just go back a little bit? Did I see a pregnant woman? Is that what I saw?
Rama from our New York City affiliate is live. Kala.
Maybe I didn't, because I figured we're going to see quite a few anchor babies. Oh, the anchor babies are going to be off the chain. You know, they're talking about, well, they're giving the court dates, ABL. They got to come back for the court date. Anybody coming back for the court date. And then when the anchor baby comes about, forget about it. And if you don't know what that is, you guys are very smart. You know what it is. But an anchor baby, that's when an illegal alien is pregnant and gives birth in the United States. If an illegal alien gives birth in the U.S., that baby is a U.S. citizen automatically. It doesn't matter if the parents are not, the baby is. And they won't deport the parents without the baby, and they can't deport the baby because the baby is an American citizen. So that's a ticket for the whole family to stay. I saw one thing. It was one of these videos of illegal aliens coming across in the caravan, right? And they showed one woman who was pregnant, and she managed to get over the border wall and had her baby. Then all of a sudden, here comes a 4-year-old and a husband. So just like that, one woman became 4 people right away, instantly. One woman became a whole family of 4 that's going to be in the U.S. permanently because of the baby that was born. You see, they're not taking child away from their father or the mother. And the little brother is just right there with the parents. He's a dreamer, right? So now they all come in. That's how it works. And it's not just Mexicans. That's the woke. That's the sleeping take. That's the sleep normie take. You got Chinese straight from China. They get on planes. You got Africans. They're Nigerian, the prince. You got Europeans from Russia, from other parts of Europe, Kiev, Ukraine, and you don't know what kind of background they have. They could be murderers, all of that. There was one guy who had been deported before, and he had a conviction of manslaughter. Then the other guy who deleted the whole family, he had been deported not once, not twice, but 3 times with violent crimes. But leave the border open, right? All right.
A lot of parents are not happy about this.
Nicole, let me show you the sign behind me hung right outside the gym that would actually house migrants. It says no asylum on school ground.
Oh, yeah. Terrorists coming from Middle East, ISIS fighters, all that. MS-13, La MA, everything, you name it, whatever. All of that. Guys that got HIV, AIDS, don't care, human trafficking, whatever.
That's the sentiment from so many parents that we've seen across Brooklyn. A rally was held here this morning. That sign left behind because parents want to know what's at stake for the last few weeks of their school year. Does this mean no prom, no graduation, no carnival that happens every summer that children are looking forward to? Parents were promised by the city that school activities would not be affected, and that is clearly not happening. Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso alongside Brooklyn City Council member Jen Gutierrez touring this gym with 71 cots inside at PS 17 and Middle School 577, where migrants were brought for a few hours Monday night in Williamsburg before moving to Staten Island. The city is surveying 20 public schools to use as migrant shelters across the city. These detached gyms at more than 6 schools in Brooklyn and at one former school in Staten Island are meant to house asylum seekers temporarily.
No shelters in the school.
But have been met with frustration from parents.
I fear for my child's life. You don't know what kind of diseases they're bringing in.
While the city promised student life would not be affected, PS 132 elementary school students will now have recess on the street through the open streets permit, and the end of the school year activities are either canceled or postponed.
They shouldn't be on a school ground. They took away the gym time, they took away the carnival, the graduation, prom, etc. So
I mean, what do you expect? This is what you wanted. It's like, again, it's all good when it's not right there in your backyard. When it doesn't affect you, it's all good. But when you're affected, when your kids are affected, now it's a problem. But again, you guys voted for it. If I were to tell you, hey, you know what, vote for the other guy, this wouldn't be happening. You would say he's a racist and he hates black people. Oh, does he hate black people? But now you guys are being inundated with these illegal aliens from all over the world. You could be having people that then abuse children, murderers, disease, all of that. Remember just a few months ago or a year ago, we were so worried about C-19 and wearing masks and social distancing. Now we're allowing whatever to come through the border. You have no idea. It could be some kind of brand new super bug, M-pox, C-19, whatever. Everybody, MRSA, the new ringworm that's coming about, that's totally fine. You know, would it be crazy if I see somebody wearing the mask and this whole thing? That'd just set me over the top. That'd just tear me to pieces.
A big concern.
They must be moving that to other locations, yeah?
We don't know right now.
The teachers union, school safety union, and a number of parents are all on the same page, concerned about students' well-being. But city leaders are reminding New Yorkers there's no data linking crime to asylum seekers.
In the time that we've had 70,000 migrants in this city, we have not heard any issues related to security or safety. They have not increased. Crime is going down, according to our mayor.
Most agree schools are not.
Man, come on. Like, all right, what's your name, sir? Antonio Reynoso? All right, sir. Are you a dreamer? Like, what's going on?
Not increased. Crime is going down.
Like, what are we talking about?
Mayor.
Most agree schools
you from Panama, Dominican, Colombia? What's happening?
are not ideal, nor are the circumstances surrounding this humanitarian crisis.
This is not intended to be like a permanent overnight, 2-3 night kind of a situation. I think there's also no showers here, no access to a shower, and I think those are all, dignified considerations.
No. So that's that. Hold on. There's more about the whole immigration thing. Somebody said free labor. That's a big part of it, obviously. But the whole free labor thing does not necessarily require open borders. You can do that. I mean, there's ways it can get those guys in there. The guys have always been able to come across the border and, just kind of work. That's always been a thing that's been going on. I have a video right here. So DeSantis made it to where you needed to show papers in order to be on a construction site. If I'm not mistaken, if y'all can give me a more accurate representation of that, y'all please let me know in the comments. And here's a video I want to show you guys. Y'all let me know what you guys think. I have my own thoughts on it, but let me go ahead and just cue it up and we'll watch it together.
Hello everyone, this is an update. Today is Tuesday, May the 16th. It's not Sunday. There is my truck with grass. And this is a construction site here in Davenport, Florida, 20 miles from Orlando. And this is all you see. It's 9 a.m. Usually at this time, there's a lot of people here working, all kind of contractors doing their job. Roofers, of course, a lot of noise and loud Mexican music. This is what you hear today. So it is happening. It is not fake. It is not a joke. You see one contractor there. And this is all thanks to Ron DeSantis.
Now, okay, there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, when you go to a construction site, what he described is usually what it is. In my neck of the woods, oh yeah, even where I live right now in Tennessee, my neighborhood, as I said before, my neighborhood was being constructed as I moved in. Like when I first came here, it was not completed. They were building the houses per order, so there was still quite a bit of construction. Can I say it? Construction going on, and they still do a little bit of stuff here and there. They had to do they had to fix the retention pond. They did a few things like that. They fixed the roads. So they did quite a bit of that as I'm living here. And in the morning, you're going to hear Mexican music loud. And some of the songs were hot. I'm vibing to the songs at a certain point. I'm vibing heavy to the songs. But that's what it is. It'd be all Mexicans or Central Americans. Not all Mexican, though, because you could tell some of them are like Guatemalan. Some of them might be Mexican. Somebody coming from Honduras or Venezuela or somewhere, but a lot of times Mexican, Guatemalan. That was the general mix with the loud Mexican music. That's what was going on. Now, here's the question. Was it always like that? Was that always the way that America was? Just Mexican workers coming in, building houses and building everything else, working in the hotels? What your man Barack Obama say, fruit pickers and bed makers for a long time. we were an agrarian society. We relied on farm work. We relied on doing things to sustain ourselves, to build homes for ourselves. We had these skills and we were able to do these things. Now, I think what has happened over the years is to maximize profits. You said it right there, Japes, $10 an hour. Exactly. To maximize profits for the contractors, for a lot of these developers, they're using the illegal aliens as cheap labor. It's not like they just are fantastic builders, and they're good at what they do sometimes. And no, I mean, sometimes they cut corners. Really, it's kind of like almost like Chinese construction sometimes, depending upon the budget of the operation. Because where I live, a lot of the houses around me, people have had catastrophic problems. Catastrophic problems. I'm talking about you had to dig up people's backyards because of the plumbing problems. I mean, we ain't talking about really gigantic houses, maybe 2,500, 3,000 square feet. Not small, but not some kind of big mega mansion. McMansions at best out here. You understand? But catastrophic problems. Like sewers backing up, brand new houses. Okay? You're talking about wood framing, not even the basement, really. Slab foundation, wood frame, might be a little bit of brick facade on the outside, and that's it. Not nothing really that major. Modest homes, but having catastrophic problems. So here's my question. Are the laborers from Central America just better than everybody else? Or is it that they'll work for a lot cheaper? Same thing with China. When you get in your Chinese constructed products, is it just better in China or is it cheaper? And that allows us to live this really high standard of living, to live in these nice big houses, meat mansions and whatnot for a low amount of money relatively. What we have right now for houses, it should cost a lot more. Back in the day, when your mama and papa were growing up, they did not have these big 2,500, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 square foot houses. Their house might have been 1,000 square foot at best. Maybe even less than that. You're talking about 700, 800 square foot for a house, raising the whole family of four and a dog and everybody else because we spent more time outside working. Like a lot of closets are very small. Let me come back so you can see me right quick. And you guys are saying the same thing. Cheaper, cheap labor, unskilled, cheaper. Exactly. Big houses built poorly. Exactly. Correct. Make them very quick. I go by this place every time by Walmart by my house. And I saw them building some stuff probably about 3 months ago. And they're pretty much done now. It's like some townhouses. They build them super quick and it's not built very well. It's not built very well. But I digress. I was looking at some houses when I first came to this city to rent. This is like back in 2017, 2018. And I remember there was an older home I looked at. It was like one of those ranch style houses, straight across like that. And you looking in the bedrooms and there was these really small closets. You got these big walk-in closets. The closets nowadays are the size of a bedroom back in the day. For real talk. But back in the day, you had very small closets. The people that lived there before, I guess they probably were old, and they had an old hanger in there. And the hanger was labeled, and it had the days of the week on it. It was one hanger, had the days of the week on it, and I think that was the person's shirts or their ties or something on that one hanger. So a guy might have 3 pair of pants, 5 shirts. He didn't have all this clothes. He didn't have all this cheap Chinese stuff. There was no need for a gigantic 5,000 square foot home full of stuff. We live at a very high standard for a low amount of money, and we use the cheap labor to be able to afford it. That's what's going on. So maybe if we had more American workers, you would kind of, level out this inflation and whatnot. I don't know. But whatever's going on, I can't really feel sorry or bad for those that are coming over here illegally. And if you are a contractor using illegal labor, then I don't feel bad for you either. It is what it is. I know that there's been kind of an industry built on top of that. And a lot of guys make money that way, but I don't feel bad at all. Not in the least bit. And you know what? Maybe we get fewer of these border crossings if we had E-Verify around the country, because they knew they couldn't come over here and just get work so easily under the table or for a very cheap price. You see? And then maybe, just maybe, Americans would go out here and work more. It's entitlement culture. I don't want to work. I don't want to do anything. Maybe that might come to an end. When your benefits tied. You see right now, they got the whole thing going on with the debt ceiling, and they're trying to have your welfare benefits tied to work requirements. If you're able-bodied, no dependents, and quite frankly, it should be if you're able-bodied with dependents. You can have 18 kids. I don't care. You got to go out there and do something. Okay, work, do something. You might got 18 kids and no way to have any kind of child care, but that's BS, though. You know, a lot of these people that got 1 million kids, no dads in their house. You got 1 million kids, 1,000,001 fathers, and you by yourself. You think you're entitled to just get money and assistance because of your condition. You can go out there and do something. And they got plenty of babysitters on deck for the low. We've seen the trend on TikTok where the parent takes their child to some hood rats daycare center, bumping the most ridiculous rap music that goes on. I've been to those places when I was a kid too. It is what it is. Not all the time. Usually I will go to a nice classy spot, you know, a daycare center or a good babysitter. But occasionally I might be in a kind of a hood place where you go there, it's like you got to fight right quick. You're about 6 years old and you got to fight the other kids that are bigger than you. But anyway, I digress. Flashback. The point is that you could do something even if you got a bunch of kids. You can go out there and volunteer, not just sit on your hind parts all day and become 800 pounds. Once we get work requirements back in the country, maybe, just maybe, we would not be relying upon illegal aliens to come over here and do these jobs for us. Maybe things might cost what they should cost rather than being cheaply made, quickly built to have an illusion of living high on the hog. A lot of these houses and these developments shouldn't even really be that big. Be totally honest with you. 1,500 square feet is about all you need for the same price. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so I digress. Hey, 18 kids is a whole town. Man, I've seen some stuff. I've definitely seen some stuff, man. A whole football team, a whole basketball team with a bench and a backup roster and a D-League rotational squad. You got all of that from one person. It's like, what in the world? Have you ever not been pregnant? You're breeding like a pit bull right now. What's going on? Exactly, Robert. You can work from home. You could do something. You could contribute to society in some kind of way rather than just sitting on your hind parts, collecting benefits, collecting money, and getting big fat. You sitting in front of the TV watching these ridiculous shows, stuff in your face, full of random food, fast food, okay, DoorDash, all that good stuff. That ain't the wave. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That's right, Jim with Juice. Loving hip hop all day. Ain't nobody got no time for that. You need to go out here and do something. Okay? Give back to society. Contribute to society in some type of way. All right. But we got a whole lot going on. There's so much I want to get into. Let's shift a little bit to the education system. We talked about illegal immigration and the school system in New York City and how they're interfering. They're in the gymnasium doing whatever they want to do. I kind of want to stay on the education piece and go to a sorority out there in Wyoming. So U of M, University of Wyoming, they have a sorority, Kappa something. Y'all let me know what that sorority is in the comments below, please. But there is a sorority, and as far as I know, and as far as it's always been, a sorority means you have women, okay? It's for women. It's not for men or anybody else. It's for women, all right? Hold on, let me go see if I can find the piece here. So what I'm going to do first is show you guys a picture of kind of what's going on, and you'll be able to kind of see what's wrong. One thing does not belong, and y'all gotta let me know. Give me 1 second. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Now, this can happen to anybody. This could happen to you. This could be just kind of what's going on. And it's going to be a problem. People got to do what they got to fight, actually. All right. And I'm going to get to M-pox in a minute, but let me just get through this here. So check it out. So here is some of the sorority sisters. These people in the picture, all of them are considered sorority sisters. Now, you tell me what doesn't quite fit there. What is a little bit off? What is the onion ring and the basket of fries? Or tater tot, whatever you want to call it. The piece that doesn't fit. One thing is not like the other. All right, what's going on here? Now, feast your eyes on a 6'2", 260-pound man that identified as a man up until recently when he decided to join this sorority in September of 2022. So a few months ago, he became part of the sorority by identifying as a woman. Now, I see a clear man, okay? I see a guy that could go out there to Florida and help build them houses, okay? You got a whole welder, pipe fitter right here talking about, I'm a sorority member, I'm a woman. Really, sir? You are a pervert. That's what's going on. And you want to see these girls. First of all, these are pretty girls, okay? You want to be around a bunch of hot girls that you normally could never be around based upon how you look, okay? And you're a tall guy. You can have the better one right there. All you really got to do is let go of the porno and go to the gym and stop eating chicken tendies all day, and you'll be just fine. But no, you got to go the route of trying to, quote unquote, become a woman and sneak into a female only place. That ain't it. That is not it. I even saw Bruce Jenner today on Fox. Bruce Jenner, yes, Big Bruce, the Bruce is loose. He was on Fox talking about this man is a man, not a woman, and a pervert. He said that. Now I'm like, wow, Bruce, you super brave for that, because when I see Big Bruce, I see them big boats. I'm seeing them big size 15 boats. I see a whole I see a whole decathlete on air. I don't see Caitlyn. I still see the Kardashians' daddy. But anyway, he even said it. This is crazy. But you have to understand, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. And hold on, before I get to the video of the young lady speaking about that, let me just show you another thing that I have loaded up, because this is what I was talking about. This whole trans stuff is completely BS. It's just a way for biological men to become involved in places where they really shouldn't be. They should not be in a female only place, but here they are. That's what's going on. Let me see if I can find it right quick, because this is pretty important to what's going on. And if you like what you're hearing, I know what to do. Give me a thumbs up, and that'll help me out a whole lot. Can I find that or no? Like, what is really going on? I gotta find. Oh, there we go. Here we have it. Here we have it. Okie dokie. So check it out. Here's a tweet from Redux Mag, and it's a website link. I'm not gonna read the website link. It says a trans-identified male in New York City is suing. Listen, he is suing a yoga studio after being denied access to the women's facilities. Redux has learned that Ali Miles, who identifies as a Muslim woman, you see how dumb this is? You're a Muslim woman identifying? That's completely haram. Completely haram. You're going to get stoned. You go to Saudi Arabia with that. Try going to Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, somewhere with that nonsense. You're getting stoned into the sand. Okay, you're going to become a whole sculpture over there. But anyway, Redux has learned that Ali Miles, who identifies as a Muslim woman, has a criminal record and a history of suing businesses for discrimination. So you're talking about ex-convict, is known to be litigious, trying to get money, talking about, yeah, I'm a woman. I want to be in their spaces. How dare you not let me in the woman's space? I'm going to sue you. So if I can't get in a woman's space, I'm going to rob you. See how dumb this is? But this is where we are nowadays, 2023. That's what's happening. Now, let me go back, shall we? Let me go back. I'm going to play some of this here so you guys can see just how ridiculous it all is.
College students join sororities. Many of them do it for the sisterhood, for a place to belong, for lifelong friendships. They don't do it in hopes that a man will invade their personal space, staring at them silently, creeping them out.
Oh, and before she even gets into it, just for time's sake, what happened was one of the girls from the sorority, let me see if I can pull it up right quick. Hold on. One of these girls right here said that this guy back here, one day she was going down the hall to take a shower with a towel on, just a towel around her. Now, the guy does not live in a sorority hall with them, to be clear, but he's there often because he's part of the sorority. And the national chapter of the sorority says that he has to be involved. That's what they say, right? Now, she's going to the shower one day with a towel on around her, and she feels creeped out. She just feels it. She turns around. He's right there in the cut looking at her. They said he's getting aroused when he sees them because this is a biological man who's heterosexual. Same thing with your man, what's his name? Aaliyah Thomas, William, biological heterosexual man. These are not guys that are gay or anything. They still like women. So it's like, all right, you have a man that likes women, still got all his body parts. I don't understand how anybody can think anything other than these guys are just trying to be around women and trying to sneak through the back door. It's really simple.
But that's exactly what happened at the Kappa Kappa Gamma House at the University of Wyoming, according to a new lawsuit. 6 sorority sisters say they were forced by the national chapter to allow a man, Artemis Langford, into their women-only organization because Langford says he's transgender. Now, what comes with being inducted into the sorority is unfettered access to the house, where about 40 college girls live. Now, a house where men, even fathers and boyfriends, are banned from being on the 2nd or 3rd floors because that's where the bedrooms and the communal bathrooms are. But Langford had access to all of it. According to the lawsuit, several times Langford had chosen to sit for hours on the couch in the 2nd floor common area. Langford stares at women walking past. One sorority member walked down the hall to take a shower wearing only a towel. She felt an unsettling presence, turned, and saw Langford watching her silently. The suit also alleges that he has watched members enter the house and sometimes had an erection visible through his leggings.
I mean, let's continue.
Other times he had a pillow in his lap. Joining me now exclusively for an interview are 3 of the sorority sisters.
So I won't play the whole thing, but they give you the whole rundown. I may do a video about this like by itself so you can hear their part of it. But it's like, come on, man. What are we even doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Come on, man. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Listen, and these girls are suing the Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority, the national chapter, because he has to have access to the whole thing. If they don't let him, then they're in violation. So either they let him be there where they live, or I don't know what happens. Are you not able to have somewhere to live after that? Do you just try to get an apartment? Like, what do you do? What do you do? Crazy. In the pillow in her lap, you could put 2 and 2 together and get 4. You could put 2 and 2 together and get 4. You already know what's going on. My man got his own OnlyFans right there for free. Man, these guys are ridiculous. Now, I kind of want to transition, for lack of better words, to a similar topic, which is my man, John Amanchukwu Sr., pastor, father, activist, who spoke about a children's book in a school. Now, it's going to be graphic, but they censored it. And the fact that it's censored lets you know that it shouldn't be a book that children are able to access. And there's quite a few books like this all over the country that children have access to. and it shouldn't be that way. It should not be that way. If it has to be censored, if you're reading a book that must be censored, if you're reading a book that people are uncomfortable hearing, even adults, maybe children in middle school, elementary school shouldn't be reading it on their own in the library. They shouldn't be able to go to the library, pick it up and read it and check it out. And it's for kids. It's a children's book that when you read it, it is too graphic for even adults to read without becoming bashful or shy or be like, hey, man, you're doing too much. You know, it is not a dinner table read, but it's for children. Any children's book should be able to be read anywhere, and it shouldn't be a problem. So let's hear it. If you haven't heard it, let's hear it.
This book here, it's called It's Perfectly Normal.
That's the book right there. Now, again, I'm not promoting this book. But if you see this book, understand what it is and do not let your children read it. Quite frankly, I don't even want to read that. And I'm a full-grown adult. I've seen everything up under the sun. From doing what I do as an independent journalist or whatever, I've seen every single thing in the world. I wish I could unsee certain things. You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm going on searches and whatnot online, looking for certain things for a story, and then I come across something totally else. I would like, man, my eyes are burning, I'm scarred for life. Even this book right here, I don't want nothing to do with. Let's start from the top.
This book here, it's called It's Perfectly Normal. I'll read some of this for you. It says, after a bit, a person's becomes moist and slippery, and the clitoris becomes hard. After a bit, a person's becomes erect, stiff, and larger. Sometimes a bit of clear fluid that may contain a few sperm comes out of the tip of the penis and makes it wet.
Can we, sir, I'm sorry.
Was it something I said? If you don't want to hear it in a school board meeting, why should children be able to check it out of the school system?
The most simple question ever. Listen, you trying to overtalk me, interrupt. Pastor, please stop. No. Ain't no pastor stop nothing. There's no pastor stop nothing. This is a book that's in the library for kids to read. Now, if I can't read this children's book in front of all adults because it's too much, it's too graphic, then why are kids reading it? Huh? And the school board guy, I'm not sure who he was, had no answer. Why can't you answer that question? Why is it okay for the kids, but not okay for us to read right here? And you got to understand this. When your lesbian auntie with the I Support Ukraine t-shirt asks you about DeSantis and other quote unquote MAGA Republicans banning school books, you read that book to her and be like, yeah, should we have this in the school for children to read? Little kids, 8, 9, 10 years old, should they be reading this? Your auntie is going to turn fire short red from reading that. You're going to read it to your auntie. She's going to turn fire short red. She could be black or white. It don't matter. She's going to turn fire short red. Oh, hold on, auntie. Why is your complexion changing so much? Why are you looking like Clifford the Big Red Dog right now in your complexion? What's the problem? I thought that it was the MAGA Republicans and Ron DeSantis banning the book. You don't want to have the book read either. So what's the problem? Nah, let her see this video. Let her read that book.
We have perverts that are perverting our kids. And you all sit back smug in your chairs, but you don't want me to read it. Why? Does it bother you? Yes or no? You can't answer that question. You want to know why? Because politically speaking, you can't say that it's wrong. And you don't want me to read the filth because it exposes the truth. How dare you tell me to stop reading it? If you don't want to hear it, why should the children have to see it?
Pastor, your time is up. Thank you.
And if you didn't see that, there were pictures right there. You can go back and pause it if you want to see it. There's pictures. So it's an interactive book. It's not just a matter of graphic type novels. If you guys remember Zane books, don't look it up, please. Do not listen to me now. Listen to me clearly. If you don't know what Zane books are, do not look it up. You're going to regret it. This reminds me of Zane books. Back in the day, I go over a girl's house when I was like 18, 19, and she got Zane books on the shelf. I'm like, ew, like, what are we doing? Like, what is going on here? It reminds me of that. But these are books for like romance novels for adult women, not for children. Look, here's my thing. You want to read these nasty books or whatever you want to do as adults, hey, it's all good. That's your thing. It's not my thing. I'm not into the romance novels and all that. But if you want to read those things as adults, then go for it. But these things should not be for children. Leave the kids alone. And if you can't leave the kids alone, then I know why. I know why. So shout out to my man. Hold on. I almost forgot the best part. Let me just play the rest of it, and then we go to the next thing.
Why should the children have to see it?
Pastor, your time is up. Thank you.
That makes two of us.
So you heard that. It said, Pastor, your time's up. It says, it makes two of us. Your time's up too, sir. So yeah, shout out to my man, John Amanchukwu. That's Amanchukuwu. Amanchukwu Senior. John Amanchukwu Senior. You go to my website, that video's up there. And also, if you look at the tweet in the article, you click it, it'll be some links to his stuff in that. You can go to erasedbook.com. That's erased, spelled with a C, not a S, and check it out. And I'm not being paid or anything to advertise Mr. Amanchukwu, but I want people to get the message out there. It's going to take all of us. You know, we can talk about all this woke stuff in schools, but we really got to just take action, do what he did, and do what these other parents did by calling the police. Oh, yeah, they called the police. Listen, so the parents in the Illinois school district filed a police report because the teacher offered an LGBTQ quote unquote themed book to the middle school kids. Now, I won't get too graphic. Hold on. Let's read this. It says, the notion that I was putting children in danger because of books, I knew I couldn't go back. So the teacher had been there for 20 years, named Sarah Bonner. Now, after the police were called and they were called on the teacher, the school put her on leave. And after she was put on leave, she went ahead and quit. So shout out to the parents for taking swift action, and also the school district for getting her up out of there. Is what it's going to take. It's going to take the parents to step up and say, no, we're not going to do this. You're not going to expose our children to filth. So you guys are great for taking action in your own way, getting these pervert teachers out of the way. Now, I'm going to tell you what happened. What happened was she presented this book called This Book is Gay, another children's book, quote unquote, that deals with some of the same sexual issues. Now, I'm going to be a little graphic, so if you get kids, cover their ears, but I won't be too graphic. Now, the book is a children's book, and it was an instruction manual on how kids can sign up to gay sex apps and get quick hookups. It also had a how-to guide on how to have male-on-male relations. Why are kids learning about this? Why did we have drag queen story time, all these pervert books? We know what the end game is. But these people are so adamant about what they want. It's going to be a never-ending fight to stop it. And it's crazy because I didn't think this would be the case. I thought that these guys were not going to just be so bold, but they are very bold. They're very bold to try and take it to the next level, which would be, you know, you could be a child and consent to whatever you want, to sex change or just sex outright. That's the end game. So no. Call the police, get him out of there, get him arrested, get him locked up, get him fired. No, we're not playing games no more. We are not playing games at all. All right. But I digress. Hold on. This is the person right here. This is the person, Sarah Bonner. Now, my initial question was, are we dealing with the XX or XY? Like, what's really going on? I'm thinking this might be an XX, but it's suspicious at best. It's a head scratcher. At this time, at this point, I can't tell what's going on. Who's who? Transformer, male in disguise. I don't know what in the world's happening, but y'all let me know. Y'all give me your opinion about what's happening here. I'm getting Dan Aykroyd. I'm getting Chris Farley. I'm not really feeling the XX type situation. Maybe a little bit of Kathy Bates, but really, I'm getting a little bit of Ghostbusters 2023 reboot vibes. I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, I'm getting a grown Chucky doll. I don't know what's going on, but I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. And a lot of them do all look the same. They do look the same. I got another video here. I got a lot of stuff I'm going to talk about, actually. I could be here all day talking about all the stuff I got going on. Let me get to okay, speaking about the LGBT, to move away from the kids, I got a video that I got to play for you guys. So we have a certain event coming up next month, or a certain community is celebrating themselves next month. And remember last year where monkeypox came out and everybody was so scared? And I remember this, it was crazy. I remember there was a dip in the mask wearing. There was a dip in the mask wearing. Hold on, here's a super chat from Monique Price. Monique Price says, I owned the first edition of that book in the 2000s when I was about 10. I remember it being very straightforward, talking about the reproductive system, childbirth, etc. Absolutely no LGBT stuff included. I don't know what's up today. Yeah, they changed it. It's not about reproduction. It's not about that. It's not about straightforward about education. It's about indoctrination. And that's how they get you, because you may have had that in the early 2000s and it was one way. So you think it'll be the same thing. You go on Amazon.com and order the same book you had in the early 2000s and it's changed. It's been several editions, several changes, several subtractions, additions, and now it's a whole different book. That's how they get you. That's how they get you, because you don't know any better. It's the same thing as what's happening right now with the new Transformers. I played that video of the Transformers where they're talking about they, them pronouns. Now, when we were kids, Transformers was not like that. It was just a good cartoon for kids, no LGBT, no woke stuff. And you're watching it on Netflix thinking it'd be a good thing. You can bond with your child over it, a little bit of nostalgia, all that stuff. You're thinking that, but then when you watch it, it's pronoun, LGBTQ, elemental P. It's different. That's how they get you. That's the game. They groom the adults. They reel you in to then influence the children. So here is a video about monkeypox. They have rebranded it M-pox. Look at this. I'm not lying. Look at this. CDC warns of new M-pox, the letter M-P-O-X, cluster with most cases in the fully vaccinated. Wow, very interesting. How convenient is that? 9 of those 13 cases were among men who had received both doses of the 2-dose Jynneos M-pox vaccine. It's only important for those at highest risk of M-pox to be vaccinated. So they're saying the cases are mostly in the fully monkeypox vaccinated people, but still get the vaccine. Why? Why? I don't understand. Do you die from this? I don't really get it. Let's check it out.
A new warning from the CDC about a potential risk for new cases of M-pox to surge this summer.
We're coming up on Pride Week right now, when there are a lot of celebrations within our populations that are at highest risk for getting M-pox. And we don't want to see a month-long celebration turn into a tragedy.
Okay, so you heard what she said right there before I continue. Now, what was the key word that was missing? Oh, we're having the Pride celebration, and those who are highest at risk, we don't want them to be compromised, all this, that, and the third. Well, say it plain, lady. Say it plain. You got Pride Month coming up, and LGBTQ men between the ages of, 18 and 40, whatever it is, who are having a lot of promiscuous relations, these guys are going to be the highest at risk. Just say that. Why you got to beat around the bush? No pun intended.
M-pox is a viral disease that spreads through close contact. It can infect anyone, but in the 2022 outbreak, infections were mostly among men who have sex with men.
There we go. Okay, you're making it a little bit more plain. Where is this at? Is this Newsmax? What's going on?
Right now, a cluster of M-pox cases is being investigated in the Chicago area, where the CDC says there have been at least a dozen confirmed cases and one probable case reported between April 17th and May 5th. All the cases were among men between the ages of 24 and 46. All had symptoms, but none of the patients has been hospitalized.
And they're all going to be gay men. 100%. 100%. 1,000%.
9 of those 13 cases were among men who had received both doses of the 2-dose Jynneos M-pox vaccine. 4 of the men had recently traveled to New York, New Orleans, and Mexico.
Mexico, huh? Very interesting. Very interesting. How about these illegal aliens coming across with the quote-unquote M-pox? Now, they renamed it M-pox because monkeypox is racist. That's right. They said we can't call it monkeypox anymore. That's racist. Why is it racist? What's it got to do with race? As far as I know, monkeypox affects gay men. What's it got to do with race? I don't really understand.
We don't know how long the vaccination is going to.
Matter of fact, most of the guys that would be affected probably be white guys. If you want to be all the way real. So what are we even talking about?
Provide immunity, nor do we know how long necessarily natural disease is going to provide immunity.
Dr. Kristen England with Cleveland Clinic says it's still important for
Tupac is hilarious. Shout out to you, Mark.
Those at highest risk of M-pox to be vaccinated.
For folks who have been vaccinated and still get M-pox, it is strongly suspected that the M-pox that they currently have is much less severe than it would have been if they had not gotten the vaccine.
I'm Andy Gaither.
Andy Gaither, can't make it up. Andy Gaither cannot make this stuff up. This world is crazy. All this weird language, M-pox. Like, come on, hold on. I just want to see why they changed it. I know why they changed it, but I want to see what was their rationale behind it. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, hold on. There's something here. This is on nature.com. All right. So this says M-pox is a new preferred term for the disease caused by the monkeypox virus. Plus, 3 problems of plastics treaty could solve in deep. Oh, it's just an article. So let's read this right here. All right. WHO has introduced a new preferred name for the disease caused by the monkeypox virus, M-pox virus, in 1958. Blah, 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 blah. They're not saying why it's going to be renamed that. You all know why. It's because they say that it's racist. That's why. I don't even need to get the confirmation. We all know why. We already know what it is. All right. Now, matter of fact, hold on. Here it is. Let's read this straight from WHO.int, WHO's website. Let's check it out. All right. So, following a series of consultations with global experts, WHO will begin a new preferred term, M-pox, as a synonym for monkeypox. Both names will be used simultaneously for 1 year while monkeypox is phased out. This is from last year, November 2022. When the outbreak of monkeypox expanded earlier this year, racist and stigmatizing language online and other settings and in some communities was observed and reported to WHO. In several meetings, public and private, a number of individuals and countries raised concerns and asked WHO to propose a way forward to change the name. Okay, so because it was racist, allegedly online and whatnot, that's pretty much what it is. That's why they changed the name. Again, you're dealing with gay males who mostly going to be white from Europe and the United States to get it. So what's that got to do with race? They were trying to say they came from Africa at first, but I can't tell. If that's the case, then where's all the cases? Anyway, I'll move on. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And we have a whole lot more going on. Where do I want to go next? Ja Morant. Let's talk about Ja Morant. Make a big shift away from the LGBT. Ja Morant. Now, you guys may or may not know who this is. Ja Morant is a basketball player for the Memphis Grizzlies. He's one of the top players in the league, a very good player. He has been in trouble lately, to say the least. Been in trouble. The thing that he did was about 2 months ago, he brought his gun allegedly on the team plane from Memphis, Tennessee, where he plays, where his home team is, Denver, Colorado. Now, once he gets to Denver, he brings the gun to the strip club, and he's on Instagram Live playing with the gun, waving it around like this. Matter of fact, hold on, let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that one, and we'll keep on moving here. Yeah. So here's your man, Ja Morant, in the club, shirt off, all of that with the gun. Now, as far as I know, Ja Morant, he grew up in, where is that? South Carolina, with a mom and a dad and a sister, nice house, all that kind of good stuff, right? That's where he grew up. And he had a good life as far as I know, not a really hard life, kind of like a middle-class upbringing. And he just liked playing basketball. And he became a very good basketball player. He is very exciting, a high flyer, can dunk. He's like probably about 6'3", 6'4", maybe shorter than that. Can jump real high, run real fast. He's an exciting player. He makes $200 million for his contract over 5 years. $38 million thereabout per year he makes. All guaranteed money, running and jumping, playing basketball. What do you want to do? You want to throw away your middle-class life growing up, and you want to play with guns in the strip club. Now, this has been really polarizing because people say, hey, ABL, he's not breaking the law. He has Second Amendment rights. First of all, Second Amendment rights, that's not what you do with your Second Amendment right. I advocate for responsible gun ownership, okay? If I have my gun on me, you're never going to see it until it's time to let it go. And that's only going to be in an emergency. I'm not going to take it out and play around with it in the strip club. First of all, I don't go to strip clubs, no way. But if I did, I would not be having my gun in there, waving it around. Okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have it on the plane. He allegedly brought the gun on the team plane. Now, there was a rule violation there. Bringing the gun on the team plane, like in the cabin of the airplane, allegedly, because chartered flights ain't no TSA. So you could theoretically bring a pound of weed on the plane, a gun or whatever. Now, there had been issues before with guys doing stuff like this on team planes. So there was a rule in the NBA's collective bargaining agreement, the CBA. If you do something like this, it's an automatic 50-game suspension. That didn't happen. They gave him a slap on the wrist at best, 8-game suspension. I knew when that happened that he'd be like, I'm bulletproof, I do whatever I want. I saw him again a little while after that. Again, shut off in the club. No gun this time, thank goodness. Shut off in the club. I'm the man. I'm thugging. I'm pouring bottles of champagne on myself. You're not learning. You're not understanding who you are. You're Ja Morant. You're making $38 million a year guaranteed to play basketball. All you got to do is just stay out of the way, go out there, play basketball, shake hands, like a politician at this point. You're the CEO of Ja Incorporated. You got your family that look up to you. Your dad is like your homeboy. Your dad is like part of your entourage. You paying his bills. You paying your mom's bills and your sister's bills. You paying for other households. You paying for your entourage. And you doing this in the club. Listen, if I was Ja Morant, even if I got guns, I never carry a gun. You want to be in the entourage, sir? Okay, you carry the gun. I'm going to have 2 or 3 guys with guns on them at all times protecting me. I'll be like, look, y'all going to the range. Y'all are going to be, I'm going to have everybody around me strictly disciplined. And if you don't want to do it, I'm not paying you no money, point blank. I'll be very disciplined and very hard-nosed. You're not going to be hanging around me, taking up my money, my resources, and my time for free and not contributing anything back. You guys want to be around me? Well, make yourself useful. Figure out a way to be my bodyguard, be my agent, do something, and be good at it. Y'all go on to school for this. You're going to get educated. You're going to train. exercise, work out. But he wants to be the guy with the gun. He wants to be the guy all in the videos waving it. So after this situation happened right here, he goes, speaks to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, and there's a big heart-to-heart talk. Adam Silver, he says that the gun incident was dangerous, all this, that, and the third. And they gave him the light suspension. They thought he learned his lesson. They sent him on ESPN to give an apology to Jalen Rose. I'm pulling it up right quick because this apology right here was so silly. It was so silly and so dumb. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. So this is the apology right here. Let me see if I can get straight to it. Hold on. Let's get to it.
I'm very comfortable about that. I'm gonna be in a positive, light now with everything, that I've made, everything that I've learned in my 2 weeks.
You talked about going live, but it's also in the news that Adam Silver, that you met with him today.
I got to pause because ESPN like to do all kind of copyrights and stuff like that. Fair use, please, ESPN. Don't flag my stream, ESPN. Come on, man. We want to see Jalen Rose in his ridiculous hairstyle. Look at this, man. Come on. These guys are not really serious. Can we be a little bit more professional on the air? Like, I'm tired of seeing guys looking so casual on television.
And he suspended you for 8 games for conduct detrimental to the league. What was that meeting like?
It was good. Pretty much, an open discussion. Obviously, he said, things, I need to, be better at, but, more of just, showing his support towards me. And I accepted that, and I also sent my apologies to everybody, the league, myself, my teammates, my family for putting that negativity towards all of us with a bad decision.
So this was just 2 months ago. This is back March 16th. So then a few days ago, he's on Instagram Live again, waving another gun. So it's like all of that right there, all the apology, I'm very sorry. All of that 5th grade class assignment type stuff went out the window. So now he's going to be suspended again by the Grizzlies, but he should be suspended for a long time. It should be a long suspension, meaning like 50 games, which what he should have got from the beginning, or the whole season. And if I was the Grizzlies, I cut him. I cut him from the team, meaning he would no longer be on the Grizzlies at all. I would just cut ties right away, because what's going to happen with guys like this is that they're going to crash out. And what that means is he's going to go all the way to the edge of his boundaries, because he has no boundaries. His father is part of his entourage at this point. The dad can't tell him a thing. Same thing with the mom and the sister. He's a leader. His boys, he's the richest guy by far out of anybody in his life that he has around him. He's the leader. So there's nobody to corral him. He's on a young team. He's like 24, 25 years old. The team is right around the same age. The coach did not play, so can't relate to him. There's nobody that can tell him anything. He's going to go all the way to the end and crash out. And then when he does that, somebody going to end up dead or shot or seriously injured in some kind of other way, whether it be him, one of his entourage, or a guy that his entourage hurts. Because there's been other things going on, not just the whole gun situation, but also his mom got into an argument with a Foot Locker or Finish Line employee at the mall, at a shoe store. His mom got into an argument with a shoe store employee. What did she do? She calls Ja to come up there and confront the shoe store guy. I'm gonna talk more about that in a minute. Ja Morant comes to the shoe store, 10 deep, 10 guys with him, and they're threatening the poor kid at the shoe store. The kid runs into the back room, locks himself in there, and Ja's banging on the door. Get the F out. I'm going to whip your A, artist, that, and the third. Security got to come escort them out, and then the crew and Ja are bucking at him. There's a lot of stories like that. There's quite a few things like that. A lot of allegations, all kind of stuff. It just too much. Like I said, he's a leader. He's the main guy, but he's a moron. He's 25 or so, right around that, but he's like 15 years old mentally. A 15-year-old hood kid mentally, but really, he grew up suburb-like. Before I continue, the mom is dead wrong for having the son come through. Listen, if I'm John Morant, really, put it to you this way. If I'm me, my mom would never call me talking about, yeah, this kid at the shoe store harassed me. She would never, ever do nothing like that, ever. She would never even ask me to put myself in that situation. Because at that point now, I'm no longer the $200 million. I'm the golden goose of the family. They need to protect me at all times. I'm not going to get into that kind of muck and mire trying to confront some Foot Locker employee because you're upset they ain't have your size or something stupid like that. I'm not getting involved in that. So then you can try to get into a fight. He pull out a gun and I die. Just dumb. Just no. Where's your brain power at? The parents are useless. The dad, part of the entourage, she's trying to hang out with Usher and Lil Jon, all these people. He'll end up crashing out, and then he'll be Javaris Crittenton. If you don't know what that is, this is a guy that played for the NBA, Washington Wizards. He was a gun guy too. Loved to play with guns. And there's a difference. You could be a gun guy and not play with guns. Like, I like guns too, but I'm not going to be waving my gun around. I'm not going to be in the vehicle taking my gun out of the holster and waving it around like it's a toy. It's not a toy. If I'm going to use my guns, I'm going to the range or a place like a range, like an outdoor range, outdoor range, and I'm going to use them responsibly. If I'm going to have them not in the range, they're going to be at my house. They're not going to be loaded outside playing around. They're not toys. These guys that treat guns like toys end up dying ASAP over nothing because they pull their gun out at the wrong time. Here's one more incident that I'm going to talk about, then I move on. Oh, yeah, Gilbert Arenas. Yeah, Gilbert Arenas was another guy, but he didn't crash out like Javaris Crittenton. Javaris Crittenton went to the penitentiary because he wound up killing somebody. Yeah, he liked to play with guns and killed somebody. Now he's in prison right now because of that. You go from being a multi-millionaire playing basketball, a child's game, to prison because you like to play with guns over the smallest, dumbest thing. You lose everything. You lose your money and your freedom for what? Why? Playing with guns. Guns are not toys. Your Second Amendment right does not mean you could be irresponsible with your weapons. Actually, that's like the worst thing to do. Guys that have guns, guys that are big 2'8" guys, do not play with their guns like they're toys. If you want to have fun with your weapons, go to the range. Be in a controlled environment. And even at the range, you're not playing around. You're going to be very safe at the range. You'll be very serious, purposeful. They're not toys. I can't say that enough. Because so many guys talking about, oh, Second Amendment, ABL. People that say that don't know about guns at all. People that say that will have a gun and put their finger on the trigger at all times, waving it around, waiting for it to go off. That's not what we do as serious, responsible gun owners. But I digress. So, yeah, all this stuff about, I apologize. I'm so sorry. Anybody trying to hear that, John Morant? Anybody trying to hear that at all? You're going to end up crashing out, and it's your fault. And if you lose your whole career over it, then so be it. And I hope they can void your contract so they're not going to be on the hook for $200 million. I void your contract because I know you're going to crash out. Matter of fact, hold on. There's an interview from that had the NBA draft recently. Was it today, yesterday, one of those days? And Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, spoke. Let me see if I can find that clip right quick. Then I'll keep on rocking and rolling. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Here we go. I mean, guns are going to be there. Oh, yeah, Plaxico Burress. I remember Plaxico Burress. He's from Virginia Beach, just like me, that general area. what he did was bring his gun to the club, and he had his gun in his waistband with sweatpants on, no holster or nothing, just out loosely in the sweatpants. And of course, it got snagged in the garment, and then it went off, and he shot himself in the leg. And he did 2 years in prison because of it. It's like, what are you even doing? If I got to bring my gun inside the club, I probably shouldn't be there. I probably shouldn't be inside of a nightclub with my gun on me. I mean, I'd rather would stay at the crib, quite frankly. What am I doing in the nightclub? If I'm the leader, I'm the millionaire, I have all the money, I make all the decisions in the family. I'm the richest guy in the whole family by far. Mom's side, dad's side, papa, mama, I'm the richest guy in the family. I run the family. I'm not going to be in the club with a gun in my sweatpants with no holster. At that point, I'm asking for it. I mean, what am I going to do? Am I going to get into a shootout inside the club? Huh? I mean, what are you even doing? If I'm in a place that's that dangerous, I'm not going to be in there. Nope. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't bring your gun with you in certain places, but a nightclub, that's not where I want to be. That's not where I want to be. Nah, because I know in a nightclub, I know kind of where I'm at. Put it to you that way. I know certain places are going to be more prone to violence. That's kind of what I'm saying. I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to carry your gun everywhere, but you're more prone to face violence in certain spots. In Virginia, I would know, okay, if you go here, they're going to fight. And somebody might end up getting shot. So how about I don't go there? Okay. Now, I might go to a more safe place with my gun on me, but I know that it's less likely to happen there than it is over here. 2 years in prison, you're missing out on your NFL career because of this. For what, though? Now, hold on. Let me go ahead and play some of this Adam Silver interview. And shout out to Adam Silver, the Triple OG, RIP David Stern.
Well, we talked directly about the consequences first before we got to a subsequent potential to have done something wrong. We were very focused on the misconduct that was in front of us at the time. And frankly, most of our conversation was about how incredibly serious the first incident was.
Now, this is at the NBA draft. This is draft night. You're talking about Ja Morant. He's one of the most famous guys in the league right now. One of the most popular guys in the league right now. And they're talking about he might be suspended forever. He might be done for good.
Of waving, a firearm on social media. And again, and the consequences there, an 8-game suspension was pretty serious and something that he, at least to me, seemed to take incredibly seriously in that time. And we spoke for a long time about not just the consequences that could have on his career, but the safety issues around it.
ESPN, please don't give me a flag for copyright. Fair use.
Could have injured, maimed, killed himself, someone else with an act like that. And also the acknowledgement that, as you said, he's a star. I mean, he has an incredibly huge following. Yeah. And that my concern, and I thought he shared with me, that millions, if not tens of millions of kids globally would see him as having done something that was celebrating in a way.
Look, if I'm guys that I know that, like real street guys that I know, if they're able to go to the league, they cut this kind of stuff out. Real street guys that I know that would really take your life for nothing. Guys that I grew up with, I'm not saying it's a good thing that they would do something like that, but I know some of these guys, that's how they operate. If they had the opportunity to be in the NBA and make millions of dollars to play basketball, they would not be doing what Ja Morant is doing. They move real quiet, real low. Guys that really come from the environment that are serious, that's how they think. Some guys come from the environment and they don't care. Pat-Man Jones, prime example. Plaxico came from the beach. I mean, that's not really, he came from like Salem. He's not really from it like that. in my opinion, from what I know about Plaxico. So for him to have a gun in the club was just dumb. A lot of guys that really come from that environment want to get away from it, and they're serious about getting away from it. Guys that don't come from that, what they end up doing, and I'm not saying all, sometimes guys that come from a bad environment still want to act up. But guys that come from a good environment, sometimes they want to go act like the bad environment guys. You're Chris Brown. Chris Brown came from a small country town in Virginia, Tappahannock. I mean, you're talking about one stoplight, one gas station type stuff. He did not come from a city environment. But now he's in his 30s. He wants to throw up blood, crip, whatever he's doing in LA. But when he was a kid, he lived in rural Virginia up until he got to be about 15, 16, where he became famous. Same thing with Tupac. Tupac came from New York and Baltimore as a theater kid, and then he went to the left coast, California, and became this gangbanger. But you were a theater kid, nice and soft, at age 18 from Baltimore, New York. Your name was MC New York. You came from there. Now you're 23 talking about Thug Life West Side. That's how it goes. But I digress.
You know, that act of using a firearm in that fashion. And so I at least was left with the sense that he was taking this incredibly seriously. So honestly, I was shocked when I saw this weekend that video. Now, we're in the process of investigating it, and we'll figure out exactly what happened to the best we can then. It's the video's a bit grainy and all that, but I'm assuming the worst, you know, but we'll figure out, you know, exactly what happened there.
So yeah, that's Adam Silver on your man John Morant. If you don't know, he is an NBA commissioner. Speaking about Adam Silver, that is. He took over after David Stern gave him the reins, and then David Stern had passed away after that. So that's that. There's all kind of racial overtones, of course, because Adam Silver, he's clearly one of the Jays. So is David Stern. Most of the guys in the NBA are black. There's all kind of racial overtones, but I don't really care about the racial overtones. The NBA is a well-run organization, top to bottom. And if you're in the way of the money, if you're in the way of the bag, you got to go. It don't matter what color you are. The European guys, if you want to come over here, act a fool. If you want to come from Slovenia and start playing with guns in a nightclub, you're going right back to Slovenia on the first thing smoking. You're coming from Latvia, Lithuania, one of these old Eastern Bloc countries, you're going right back home if you come here and act up. Coming from Africa, coming from Japan, like Ryo Hachimura, you're going right back to Japan. Straight back. They're not going to play games over here. It's simple. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I agree with you, MR. Full season, make an example. Yes. Because clearly he didn't learn from the first time. He ain't learned the first time. So now it's like, all right, what are we going to do to make the point be driven home? How are we going to drive it home? Full year suspension. But we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Now, where do I want to go next? Tucker Carlson. I almost forgot about my man Tucker. So Tucker Carlson, there's quite a bit of stuff going on about Tucker Carlson. First of all, let's get to the more breaking news that I've not covered in the video quite yet. So they have, there's news that broke about the schedule for prime time on Fox, because obviously Tucker was the 8 o'clock time slot. And it's like, what are you going to do now to replace him? They've had a revolving cast of people to replace Tucker. They come on for a week and then they go off. But it's like, okay, who's going to be there permanently? What's going on? And I think they have found their guy. Let's put it up on the screen right quick. And y'all give me a second here while I do this. You know, I'm doing a little bit of house cleaning over here. Hold on one second. Okay. Here we go. So Drudge Report says Hannity's going to replace Tucker at the 8 o'clock hour. Okay. This is according to Drudge Report. And I'm on Mediaite.com. This is where I'm looking at this article at. So Hannity will go to 8 o'clock. Jesse Waters will go to 9 o'clock, and Greg Gutfeld will do 10 o'clock. Now, you guys are asking about where's Laura Ingraham going to go? I don't know. I have no idea. Let me see if they say anything about Laura. Yeah, I don't know. Now, here's something else right here. It says Fox News shoots down rumors from left-wing activists that Laura Ingram's getting fired. This is also from today. All right. And I think that is also on Drudge Report. Let me see. Fox News released a statement on Wednesday blasting left-wing activists who took to Twitter and reported that the network planned to fire primetime host Laura Ingraham after Matt Drudge's eponymous news aggregation site reported on the primetime shakeup on the network. Okay, so they're talking about the whole thing with Fox, because if the lineup from Drudge Report is accurate, then she gets booted from her time slot. So it's like, where does she go? I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea. She's on Hannity right now. So will she be a co-host of Hannity? How's that going to work? I have no idea. But Hannity will take Tucker's spot. And that makes sense for Fox, because Hannity is a company guy. He's a company guy through and through. Old school guy, will do pretty much what they tell him to do. He's not going to rock the boat. I'm not against Hannity, but I know how Hannity is. That's going to be him. So it makes sense for him to go right there. They don't want a guy who's going to shake this, who's going to rock the boat and do too much. They put him right there. So again, Hannity 8 o'clock, Jesse Waters 9 o'clock, Greg Gutfeld 10 o'clock. As far as Laura Ingraham, I have no idea. Y'all have to let me know about that. Y'all got to let me know. But you know what? I'll tell you what. They need newer talent on Fox. They need newer talent on Fox. That's the bottom line, in my humble opinion, because you can't keep recycling these same old guys. How long has Hannity been on Fox? It's been a while, as far as I know. Jesse Waters is okay, but he's no Tucker Carlson at all. He's no Tucker. I mean, he's a decent anchor, but he's nobody. He's like kind of generic to me. I like him, but it's like you can kind of like, it's hard to explain. He's not a guy that I will look forward to seeing. I look forward to hearing from Tucker. And I don't even watch Fox for anchors. If I watch Fox on in the background, I'm not even really paying attention. I'm the kind of guy who will watch Fox on mute with subtitles. Or not even subs, just I'm reading a lower third. It's just on to see what's happening. Stock market, breaking news. I'm not even listening to what they're saying. I don't care what they're talking about. All I care about is really reading the screen. That's it. And if I read the screen and it's something important, I might turn the volume on. But usually, if I got Fox on, it's on mute in the background. I'm not even paying attention. But Tucker, I watch. Or I watch the replay or some of the clips. Jesse Waters, mute on the background. Hannity, mute on the background. That's just me, though. I might watch a little bit of Gutfeld for a moment for some of the comment relief. Maybe. But really, mute in the background. That'll be pretty much how it is with Fox. So I don't know what they're going to do. And as I'm talking about Fox and Tucker, let's look at the whole thing with not Project Veritas, but O'Keefe Media Group. Now, you guys know about Project Veritas and James O'Keefe splitting. Okay, they split. Project Veritas still exists, but James O'Keefe has O'Keefe Media Group, OMG, for short. And what he was able to do is record at O'Keefe Media Group a Fox producer talking about the reason why Tucker Carlson was let go from the network. Now, I'll play some of this. It's kind of a long video. I won't play the whole thing. I've already done the reaction to it. But let's play some of this right quick.
$4 million to settle that lawsuit.
Oh, that was with the Dominion company. What happened with that? Like,
they gave him money. Part of it, they say it wasn't part of it, but we're learning that Tucker getting fired was part of that.
Tucker getting fired was part of the Dominion lawsuit?
It's part of the settlement. Yeah, he's ousted. When it's corporate media and you're beholden to advertisers, right?
Well, it's either the Pillow Guy or it's brought to you by Pfizer, right? It's like
it's big pharma.
Yeah,
which is crazy because like we would do all this stuff about COVID vaccines, and we're getting money from Pfizer.
So I can tell that whoever is doing O'Keefe's editing is still on the board with these big crazy. I mean, the lettering on these videos are crazy. It's all over the place. You got the big size 28, 29 typeface all over the screen. So shout out to him for still having that going on. But as you heard so far, this guy is a Fox reporter. His name is Sean Langill, a producer over at Fox at Night. And what he's saying is that the Dominion lawsuit is part of the reason why Tucker Carlson got ousted. Now, that was a whole big thing, right? People are like, well, was it part of the Dominion lawsuit? What was the reason? I was talking about Rupert Murdoch's ex-girlfriend, ex-fiance. He's saying part of it was not only the Dominion lawsuit, but also January 6th, because they're beholden to advertisers at Fox News. And the advertisers were not wanting to put their ads on the 8 o'clock hour because of Tucker. And then he said when Tucker was removed from the network, they came back to put ads on the 8 o'clock hour. That's the reality of the situation. But here's my thing. These guys keep getting caught on candid camera. Like, what's going on? Are these two men on a date? What's happening? And it's so obvious. He's like, oh, so what happened? Tucker Carlson got fired for what reason? Talk right here to the microphone. You might as well did that, man. It's like, this guy couldn't be no more obvious. He's all smiling, having a good old time. Got his whole polo shirt all the way open, showing the chest hairs. It's crazy. Like, what are you doing, sir? Get it together.
We're getting what?
And we're getting money from Pfizer.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
big pharma, big tech.
You know, you're talking about like the shady players, like your buddy Michael Rosa, like
that. He's the one who's crafting Dominion's message. That's a whole story in and of itself.
OMG News has obtained incendiary footage of a Fox News producer talking about Tucker Carlson's departure, the Dominion settlement, and the influence that advertisers and pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer have over the embattled network.
Fox News Media, America's news, and much more.
$144 million to settle that Dominion lawsuit.
Oh, that was with the Dominion company. Yeah. How did what happened with that? Like,
they gave him money. It wasn't part of it. They say it wasn't part of it, but we're learning that Tucker getting fired was part of that.
Tucker getting fired was part of the Dominion lawsuit?
I mean, so you get the idea. The guy is talking about Tucker and Dominion, and then he talks about January 6th a little bit later. Let's see if I can find that part right quick as well. Oh, here we go. Here we go. And for some reason, your man was brought up, huh? Your man, what's his name? Ray Epps was brought up here. Very interesting. Let's take a listen right quick.
Well, he brought up things that cost a lot of money.
Cost the company a lot of money?
Yeah, and that was part of it. Like, he was going to go after his whole thing about January 6th was, it was an inside job. He went after this guy, Ray Epps.
Oh, there it is right there. Ray Epps. Why is Ray Epps being mentioned? Why would that be a bad thing to talk about as far as the federales? Because we all know about Ray Epps, right? Ray Epps was a guy that was on several videotapes talking about go into the Capitol. He was inciting the riot clearly. Didn't do a day in the penitentiary, didn't do a day in jail, was able to go right back to his crib, his ranch, and hang out, drive four-wheelers, and just live life like it's golden, right? Meanwhile, guys that did not go into the Capitol, guys that did not incite any kind of violence, had their lives turned upside down. Your Brandon Strzok and everybody else. What's your man name? The QAnon shaman. What did he do? Not much, but got sent to the penitentiary. Big rocks, little rocks. But yet Ray Epps is walking free. Why? What's going on? And why are they just now trying to indict the Proud Boys when they picked up Enrique Tarrio before January 6th happened? I don't understand.
Guy, Ray Epps, he said was an FBI agent on the inside.
Right.
Encouraged it. And he was going to go on the air and mention what that guy said on 60 Minutes, and the Murdochs were like, not going to happen. The other thing with Tucker that is interesting is everyone's like, oh, are losing so many viewers and money. I'm like, well, actually, there are a bunch of advertisers that said we're not going to advertise that 8 o'clock hour. So now that he's gone, they're starting to come back.
Sean, a Fox News insider, says that not only Tucker's reporting on January 6th cost the network a lot of money and made the Murdochs unhappy, but Sean goes on to talk about the pressures of advertising and the influence of Big Pharma on the embattled network.
It's Big Pharma.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because like we were doing all this stuff about COVID vaccines and we're getting money from Pfizer.
So there's more there, of course. It's a longer video, but that's what's going on with your man, James O'Keefe and O'Keefe Media Group, OMG. All right. So shout out to O'Keefe with the brand new network. I'm not sure about Project Veritas, what they got going on, but hey, they got their own thing. And so does O'Keefe. I knew that the work wouldn't stop. He just kept on going right into it. Breaking news. I don't know how he gets these people to just start talking. And it's not O'Keefe himself. It's people that work with him. Are these dates, what's really happening? And at a certain point, like I remember the one guy that freaked out and tried to break the monitor. Remember that whole thing? That was crazy. And the guy was like, yeah, man, I'm trying to close the deal. It's date number 3. It's like, you ain't closing no deal here, sir. You better get put on candid camera. You better have somebody come out like, what's your man from To Catch a Predator, like Chris Hansen. You better get confronted by, Chris Hansen style. So shout out to James O'Keefe for doing some really good work out here. Still breaking news events, breaking stories, and getting down to the core of what's happening in our country with what's going on. What I got from that, the main thing I got from that was that if you cause issues with the advertisers, it's a problem. If you cause a problem with the big boss, it's a problem. That is what's going on with mainstream media and with Tucker. So we're going to see how Tucker does on Twitter with his new show. I can't wait for it personally. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. I'm ready. I got all ears ready for that. So yeah, shout out to James O'Keefe. Now, before I continue, I want to give a shout out to Ariana Preston. You guys know I did a video about that. That was really hard for me to do, that video about Ariana Preston. Ariana Preston was 24-year-old Chicago police officer who was shot and killed after she got off of work as an officer. She was on the force for 3 years, and she was going to graduate this past weekend with a master's degree in jurisprudence. She was killed the weekend before her graduation weekend. 24 years old, black woman, was going to have a master's degree in jurisprudence at Loyola. Part of the ceremony, they had a special time for Ariana Preston. It was so sad. That video right there, like I was really struggling to make it. And I did the video after I got done with the show. So I guess it was like that Wednesday, Saturday, I don't know when it was. It was Saturday night. I remember now because I was wanting to go to bed. I had to get up in the morning pretty early, like 7 o'clock. But I was like, you know what? I got to do it right now. Because if I don't do it now, it's going to stay with me all throughout the night and into the day tomorrow. And I won't have time tomorrow to do it. I got to do it right now. It wasn't even about views or nothing like that. It was about me just having to put it out there. And it was hard. It was really hard. I kept starting and stopping. Then I was finally able to do it because that was really crazy. So the quick recap of Ariana Preston, again, 24 years old, Chicago police officer. Let me put it on the screen right quick so you guys can know what I'm talking about if you have not seen my video or just for a quick reminder. Okay. So, matter of fact, hold on. Can you get a picture right here? Yeah, that'll work. So this is her right here. She did some photos before her graduation. She had a cap and gown and everything because, again, she was going to graduate. She was killed a week before her graduation from Loyola with a master's degree in jurisprudence. She was going to graduate. She had a whole life ahead of her. She was going to do so many good things. She was going to go above and beyond and do so much more than what she was doing at that time as a officer on the street. But anyway, She came home from her shift as an officer, pulled into the driveway, and these teenagers, these monsters, ambush her. They're all armed. They begin to shoot at her. She shoots back. And they kill her, steal her gun and sell it, steal her car and set it on fire afterward. One of the boys was like 15, 16 years old. He's texting a friend of his, bragging about it. Say, hey, you saw that on the news? Officer that got killed? Yeah, that's my work. They're bragging about killing this officer. And it was really for no reason. They were just going around causing trouble all that night. They didn't even really get much. A few dollars for the gun that was stolen between like 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. Nothing. It was completely senseless. She was a random innocent person coming home from work, and you got these miscreants, these animals out here taking their life. They hit me so hard because you know what? People try to do right. They try to stay in the so-called hood. They try to be around their so-called people, but they hate you. They hate you. They don't really care. They hate you. You do well. You work. You can read and speak well. They hate you. So you have to leave at a certain point. Not all, but too many. These guys also have been arrested over and over again. They had long rap sheets, violent crimes, carjacking, things of that nature. They should have been in prison a long time ago. I don't care if they're teenagers, so what? They're 18, 19, 16. In Virginia, you could be charged at the age of 14 as an adult. They should have been in prison for a long time, long before they came in contact with Areanah Preston. You see, she was the best of us in the black community, the best of us, a model citizen, someone to look up to. That was Areanah Preston. These guys in the street were the absolute scum of society, the worst people on the planet. They need to die. They need to die. They need to go. You see, I talk about big rocks, little rocks, going to the penitentiary. These guys need to die because they're not going to do. Look, listen, hear me clearly. If you're 16 years old, texting your friend talking about, hey, look at the news, that's my work, I did that. Bragging about killing somebody for nothing. That cannot be rehabilitated. That cannot be changed. You have to lose your life. You have to go. Death penalty ASAP. Not even 20 years behind bars. Nah. Go ahead and go out back and do that right now. Just get it over with. Because these guys cannot, we can't afford to have them in our society. I don't care. Because what's going to happen is they're going to breed with some other ne'er-do-well and create more monsters. They're going to multiply like roaches. And at a certain point, you got to exterminate the brood to cease the infestation. She was best of us. 24 years old, not out here acting the fool, working hard as a police officer, giving back to the community, getting their education, doing all that, doing everything right. These guys come to earth. It was crazy. So that video for me was more therapeutic than anything else to get it off of my chest. I feel better now talking about it. When I did the video, I was really struggling. I was struggling really bad, but now I feel better. But it's still heartbreaking. And they said the person she arrested her last arrestee or whatever they call it, when the person found out that she had been killed, they cried. The person she arrested last started crying. It was because you could tell by the way you could tell she had so much energy, so much love to give, and they just took it away like that. Now, there was a funeral today, okay, and there was a sea of blue. Let's take a look right quick, shall we? And they got the bagpipes, of course, as is tradition. That's rough. At the end, you heard her family right there. You heard them. That's rough, man. I've been to funerals before. I've been to quite a few funerals. Obviously, you get family members that may be old. You know, people that's like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. I've been to a funeral one time for like a young person, but it wasn't anybody that I really knew. I knew somebody that knew the person, but I didn't really know the person. And the person kind of like loosely knew them, so it wasn't really a sad thing. Now, I was at one funeral when my uncle died when I was a little boy. I'll never forget it. I had probably been about 5 years old, but I would never forget it. And then sometimes it's like I could see memories of myself outside of myself. You understand? So it's like I can see myself like I'm looking at me. So I'm about 5 years old. I'm a little boy, and I'm inside the church at the funeral of my uncle, my dad's older Uncle Chauncey. I never forget. So I could see myself, and I have this blank stare on my face. I'm confused, like what's going on, because all behind me, everybody's crying. At a funeral, normally, when I go to a funeral, ain't nobody really crying. That ain't to say that people aren't sad, but it's just like, it's kind of expected. It might be an elderly person, or they had been sick for a while, or something like that. At this funeral, everybody boo-hooing, crying. Everybody, grown men. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm 5 years old. I don't understand what's happening. I don't really understand the concept of somebody dying. But it's because of the impact that he had on so many people. For years after that, I would still hear stories about him. I met somebody in Virginia that knew him from back in the 80s. I met that person like in 2020, something like that. Like 30, 40 years later, they knew him. So when you have an impact like that, it affects a lot of people all over the world. And definitely those that know you in your immediate surroundings. So yeah, shout out to the officers for having the service, for playing the bagpipes. And those guys that did that, and anybody else that did that, you got to go, man. You have to go. I don't, the whole slap on the wrist thing. And this is part of the reason why I say guys that commit crime like this, they have to get a stiff penalty, because when they don't, what happens is they're allowed to continue on terrorizing the community. So they got to go. Exactly. Dude says 5-year-olds can't comprehend death, but will know what gender they are. Exactly. Thank you. I had no idea what was happening. Everybody was crying. I'm like, why is everybody crying? I didn't really understand. I didn't really get it. So of course you cannot understand a thing like gender. But I have to digress. I know it's pretty heavy, but I had to cover that. I had to cover it. But I try normally to be pretty light and positive on the show. But I'm going to transition right now into the super chats so we can kind of lighten it up a little bit. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Let's go ahead and keep on rocking here. Thank you to Blast Radius, who says, quote, bring them all, but just not in my area. Or defund the police, just not for my gated community. Exactly. It's the quintessential hypocritical, elitist, white liberal take. America's new aristocrats. Absolutely. Thank you to GR, who says, some are sicarios that kill and get paid with the ticket to the U.S. I'm Honduran, and I know about a few cases. They are not asylum seekers. They are fleeing Honduran authorities. Of course, plenty of criminals on the run. And just like when we go to Mexico for being on the run, they do the same thing here. Ain't no difference. Thank you to No White Goat, who says ABL's on fire tonight. Appreciate you for that. Thank you to Monique Price. I read that one already. She says, I owned the first edition of that book in the 2000s when I was about 10. Speaking about one of those books I read earlier, one of those very one of those very explicit children's books that I read. I remember it being very straightforward, talking about reproductive system, childbirth, etc. Absolutely no LGBT stuff included. I don't know what's up today. Exactly. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, There's not enough ABLs in the black community to let Ja Morant know what he's doing is foolish. Exactly. And Ja Morant is not going to care because Ja Morant is the man. He has all the money. He has all the power. He will only care when the power is taken away. That's why you got to cut him and suspend him and really probably blackball him for a while. A year, that'd be good with no pay. Then you'll see what's going on. Thank you to David Montenegro, who says he used Wonder Woman rope. I don't know what you're talking about there, but thank you for that. And thank you to Michael Show again, who says, before there were 50 Shades of Grey, there was Zane novels. Exactly. And if your girlfriend was reading them back in the day, she was, the rest. Thank you for that. Thank you to Chandre Smalley. I know I took your name up, and I'm sorry, boss. Chandre Smalley for the super chat. I appreciate you, boss. Thank you. But it's time for the calls. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. It is all good. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling here. There's also an email for Skype. You could be right there at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. And if it doesn't work properly, it's not my fault. Please blame the white man. It's not on me. All righty. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get my sound together if I can. That'd be fantastic. Let me see. I'm reading some of the super chats here. Jim says, can people who go to work every day and pay their bills get a month? I'm not sure what you mean. Probably about somebody else is speaking to you. All right. Let me see. Ronnie Parker says, at 1982, I could not understand what death was when my granddad died. I didn't know what to say or to feel. I was confused. Exactly. Yeah. Kids, we don't really understand things like that. But again, they're talking about we can get our gender assigned at that age. Make that make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Let me go ahead and get my sound together. Y'all give me a second, please. And there we go. 859, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, watching the show. What's up, buddy? How's it going? Me, the Luciferian Libertarian from West Kentucky. I'm always happy to hear from you.
It's all good, man. What's happening?
See, I'm a gun owner, and it irritates me that this basketball player is just playing around with a firearm, acting like he's big and tough, and it's annoying. I get agitated when somebody puts a finger on the trigger because I'm very picky about very picky for a good reason over gun safety, and it's frustrating.
I hear you.
It is, and that's the thing is I'm so aware and so conscious about gun stuff. I do not post anything about guns or make any videos or show anything with my firearms at all, just in case, because you don't know who's on your social media. Because I live in a bad neighborhood, man. If I post up like pictures of my firearms, how you know they're going to break into my house and try to steal it? Right. People have to be more wary about this stuff.
Exactly. Be aware of your surroundings and what you're doing because you could attract the wrong kind of attention.
Dude, I guarantee you that basketball player, there's going to be another news article online that he got robbed. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. It's going to happen.
Right, of course.
I mean, from your experience and stuff like that, from living in these neighborhoods, I mean, the advice that you would give to the callers, of course, I live there. I've been there. It sucks. And from my experience, it could be different from your experience. I mean, what area you were mostly raised at, just out of curiosity?
Like Virginia Beach, that area.
I heard the place is beautiful there. I don't know too much about that area. Besides, I know a few people went to a few vacations from that area and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like people, it's weird because that area has its own little neighborhoods. Like if you go down to like the tourist spots, that's one place, but you can go elsewhere where you off the beaten path and you probably shouldn't be there. I've been a little bit of everywhere. The main thing is when you present yourself a certain kind of way, you want to be a tough guy, all that kind of stuff, then you're easy. People, they might want to test it. Are you really a tough guy or not? So the best way to kind of just get through those environments is just mind your business and stay out the way. You want to be big tough guy? Okay, now you big tough guy, and you might get priced for being that.
Yeah, I mean, usually if people try to say something to me, I usually cut off the conversation quickly. It's like, look, I gotta go, and try to avoid confrontation or any kind of form of conversation from people I don't know, especially if they're coming up to you, you don't know who they are. The best thing you do, hey, I gotta use the bathroom real quick. Just get out of there.
Nah, I hear you.
I live in these neighborhoods, man, and I've been robbed, I've been shot at. It's not fun. It is not funny. And when you leave those areas, environments, it's a lot. You get a culture shock, you know.
Right.
And a bit of a culture shock, because I mean, I just like I knew next door neighbors when I moved into this one neighborhood that had pools, and I'm like, you guys have pools? I did not know that existed.
They had pools, like swimming pools.
Yeah, swimming pools. I was like a kid. It's like, oh, I'm quite used to living in really bad neighborhoods when like your neighbors cussing, you hear gunshots, and I never seen a pool in somebody's backyard when I was younger. I did not know that existed. That's how touched I was from living in a bad neighborhood from where I was at, and then my mom got herself a better job. We moved somewhere better, and it's 360 difference. A 360 difference.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And and that's the thing is you're right. You're 100% right. When people live in those bad environments, they try to stay away from those lifestyles of those bad environments as much as they can. And this guy, John Morant, this guy was born and raised with a silver spoon in his mouth. The guy is so out of touch.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like I don't understand what his end goal is. He wants to just. I don't understand what he's trying to do. Just play basketball. You've made it. You've succeeded. There's no reason to try to behave like you've not made it yet. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, and you know where I live at, man. I like last year I had like 2 or 3 stray bullets went through my neighborhood, through my apartment, and that scares that you have trouble sleeping after that. But this guy's bragging like he's the big tough guy, man. Come on, this guy's putting up a front. He's gonna get robbed.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. But hey, man, I appreciate you letting me call, man. I'm happy to see you. Sometime we gotta hang out, bro.
Right on, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, much love, man, from Lexington, bro.
All right,
see
now.
ya.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. You guys are the best audience anywhere out here. All righty. As somebody says, dear caller, move. Yeah. it might be time to go ahead and get it up out of there. You know, you might not be in a very safe place. You know, you want to have safety be the number one thing at all times. All right. But yeah, it's a whole lot going on with everything that's happening with these guys wanting to be someone that they're not. Just be yourself. Ain't no point in trying to do a bunch of extra stuff. That ain't really it. Yeah, I heard that word in a minute. A lot of posers. I've not heard the word posers in a long time. That's taking it back. Let me go ahead and restart my Skype right quick. Y'all give me a second. Yeah, they're taking it all the way back with that word poser. Yeah, but it's a lot of that going on in these streets, and it's not really the wave to go. Yeah, yeah. If you're able to make it, if you're able to succeed and have a good life, you want to get away from that. You don't want to. If you can't get away from that type of stuff, I feel like you got a mental problem. If you can't get away from that negative life, you might have a mental issue that you cannot solve for whatever the reason may be. And that is an issue. That is a really big problem. Yeah. So we got to put an end to that. Yep. Have I seen the new show? Is the show out? I've not seen it. I don't think the show is out at all, so I've not seen the show at all. I have no idea. About the word tool, I've not heard the word tool in a while either. But no, I'm ready for the new show whenever it's going to come out, but I've not seen it. As soon as it premieres, And I found out about it. I'm gonna let you guys know. I've not seen anything at all. But we're gonna see when that comes out. And a lot of the stuff that's happening right now, we think that, you could be safe in the more conservative area. The story I did earlier about the transgender person at the sorority, that was in Wyoming. These things happen all over the country. It's not just relegated to one particular part of the world or the other. It's all over the place. It's everywhere. You can't really avoid it. It's a mess. Speaking about other parts of the country, Montana has banned TikTok, I think. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can find more about that. Montana banned TikTok. Give me a second. Okay, so Montana became the first state in the U.S. to enact a complete ban on TikTok on Wednesday. Republican Governor Greg Gianforte signed a measure that's more sweeping than any other state's attempts to curtail social media app, which is owned by a Chinese tech company. The measure is scheduled to take effect on January 1st, 2024. Expected to be challenged legally and will serve as a testing ground for the TikTok-free America that national lawmakers have envisioned. So can I get down to the core of what they're trying to do? Like a complete ban? You can't have it on your phone at all? I suppose so. That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, so no TikTok in Montana. But like I said, it's going to be challenged in court. And there's going to be some powerful lawyers and lobbyists behind this. And you know what? I think the whole thing with TikTok being banned is part of the reason why these social media apps like Instagram, YouTube, etc., Facebook, they have their own version of TikTok on there. The short form content, that's why they're trying to do that, because they realize people are hooked on the TikTok and these short forms. So when it gets banned, they're going to want to go somewhere where that kind of environment is already set up. They don't want to have to go and have another app take TikTok's place. They want them to come to already established platforms where they already have a presence and continue their whole short form media content consumption. That's what's happening, in my humble opinion. But we'll see. We'll see how that whole thing works. TikTok, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that. I think that there is a bunch of, I think there is an issue with TikTok and safety, but at the same time, I think that issue with TikTok and safety, there's also an issue with Instagram and everything else with safety as well. It's not just relegated to TikTok. Papa Bears Moto says, ABL show bringing back all the old school words. We had whack earlier in the week, and tonight poser and tool. How about bugging? Yeah, I'm like an old guy in my mind. People get kind of confused about my age because I got a great beard, so they think I'm old already. But then if you were to see me in person, I don't look old. If I look old, I'm like an old, like fit guy, like one of these guys that does karate instructing for like on the side, like an old like a Billy Blanks type person. I'm tall and I'm lean, so I don't look old. But at the same time, I'll give you some old school words, some black grandma words. I'll give you that. So it's confusing. Venus says, looking better information from TikTok and Facebook. I've heard that about TikTok, that it's better to get information from there than the big tech apps. This could be a way for them, meaning the United States, to protect its own interests as far as social media dominance, because TikTok is China and Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is American. So they might want to keep the foreign apps out of American space, because what can happen with TikTok is they can give you everything you want on there, but then also put whatever they want on there as well. And that'll just be kind of how it goes. You see what I mean? So that might be an issue. Yeah, I'm an old soul for sure. I've been old like that since I've been a little boy. 470, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? Can you hear me?
Anthony.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Hey, it's Greg from Wild and Wacky Atlanta. How you doing, sir?
I'm well, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I got some words of encouragement from this lady that saw my Trump bumper sticker on the back of my car this afternoon when I was in Marietta.
All right. What did she tell you?
Yeah, well, ironically, she left me a very kind note on my car, which is kind of a change of pace. Usually I hear people that don't like my Trump bumper sticker. I've heard one or two comments. And she said, left me a post-it note on my windshield and says, "I love your bumper sticker!" ! 3 times, capital love. It says, "Go Trump MAGA," with 3 exclamation points behind it.
Oh wow, there you go. I mean, that's unexpected. Like you said, sometimes you probably get some really negative reactions.
Yeah. I've got a "Don't Tread on Me" bumper sticker as well. So you can spend Ultra MAGA under my Trump bumper sticker. That's the one that gets people ultra pissed when they're liberals.
Right on.
It's psychological warfare. It's designed to piss people off, and no one's shot my car, or blown it up, or anything like that, or tried to set it on fire. But, wow, anyway. Yeah, sorry to hear about that police officer. I haven't seen that video yet, but that was very sad. What state was that in? I don't recall.
Chicago.
Oh, yeah. That's a war zone, so stuff like that's going to happen a lot there. Anyway, man, I don't have too much for you tonight. Just want to say hello. I'm glad that you're doing well. And, oh, wait a minute. You forgot to mention in your video that you lost all your guns in a boating accident some years back.
That's right. Yeah, I got to say that because I don't have any more guns. It was a tragic boating accident. They're all gone.
That's right. You were on Lake Lanier, back in 2018, and the water was a little low, and you hit a house, so.
There you go.
Anyway, man, you take care. I just want to say hello, and have a great night. Trump 2024.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, man. See you. Bye.
All right. Great call. Shout out, man, for the call. Yeah, leaving a good note on the vehicle with the bumper sticker. That could go the other way, where you get a really negative comment. That most certainly could be the case. But hey, I'm glad it wasn't that way. My mic sounds crazy. Oh. Okay. Hold on. Give me a second. All right. Is that better? Yeah, I know what I did. So the audio was scratchy because when I had long story short, I just turned my mic up too much when I was trying to turn the volume down for the ringer on Skype. So the audio is toast. Yeah, it should be good now. I see I'm not peaking too much. Let me go ahead and fix it all the way. Let me go over here. And yeah, it's good now. It should be totally fine at this point. So let me go do this. I think we're good now. 801, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Jason from Salt Lake City. I just got 3 analogies I want to give to you. The Democrat Party is like a diamond thief that stole all your diamonds and are wearing them right in front of you, and they know that you can't prove they stole them from you. And 2, the Democrat Party is like an arson that burnt down the entire community and is now going back and becoming the fire marshal. That's what I got to say.
All righty. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All righty. Shout out to the caller. 504, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Yes. So I have some things to say. So basically, remember earlier you were talking about the debt ceiling. I was looking at some of the stock stuff yesterday and today. And so basically, there's three reasons for the problems that are going on with the economy. One of them is the debt ceiling with all the spending, and also with the Ukraine and Russian war, and also some relations with China. There could be some issues because the country, as you know, is siding with Ukraine, and China may be helping out Russia in some ways. And the stocks went up a little bit today because they have faith in Joe Brandon that he's going to raise the debt ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of there's rumors out there that he can raise the debt ceiling, but that's going to happen regardless. Like, it's always some kind of panic around this situation every single time where it comes about. It's always it's the same way. They always get it done. So yeah, stocks will go up because they know that's going to happen.
Right. And it's kind of funny. It's like they could just keep on making it go up and up and up to infinity.
Yeah, it's gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do because they keep kicking the can down the road. But at a certain point, we got to deal with it. I don't know when that day will be, but one day it's gonna have to happen.
Yeah. It's like they want to keep on putting it back in the closet. They want to keep on, painting over it. It reminds me of with the hurricane. I was in Katrina because I'm in New Orleans, and with the mold, you have to take out all the sheetrock because if you paint over the mold, it comes back.
Right. Exactly.
It's like mold. Yes. And also, I will say about it's terrible what happened with that police officer, how those thugs went and killed her and stole the stuff. And I know that was hard to do, to cover. And seeing how the crime is rising, it was always bad kind of in recent times, but I feel it's going up. And I know with my area is okay, but the general New Orleans, especially the section that I'm in, it got more into crime and the gang stuff in the region. And yeah, it definitely doesn't help the black community. It started with the Italians, with the mafia, and the 20s, and then they watched The Godfather, and they at some point thought it was cool, and they got influenced by it. And I don't know, they must feel like they're tough or something, but it really causes more destruction for their own people.
Absolutely correct. And sometimes they can't really see it. They don't really see it, or they refuse to acknowledge what's going on. But they still complain about the problems that are created as a result.
Right. And it's like it's like the Ku Klux Klan and all these groups they like to blame, and the white supremacists, it's like they're just killing each other. I mean, it's like they're doing, they're bidding for them in a way where they're not even bothering those people. They're just killing each other.
Right. Exactly.
And like, they don't bother my family and I. They just, as I just said a moment ago, it's black on black crime, and it keeps on going everywhere. And why do you think that the blacks do crime on each other?
I mean, people just don't really care. They just, I don't know. It's just one of those things. People just don't care. They just do stuff. That's a whole conversation right there. I couldn't just answer that very quickly, actually.
All right. Okay. I understand. Yeah. It's a short call. Yeah. And I think those movies and stuff influenced them to get like that. And also, I will say that I feel with the rising inflation and the uncertainty that the food prices and stuff are going to go up, especially with the food and like the meat and whatnot. I know from the farming stuff. And I did send you an email about that. You could look at that later. And that's, so everything's getting more expensive. So it's important for people to, if they can, to get into gardening, or at least stock up on supplies and whatnot if they don't do gardening. And I think that it's good that we're spreading the word and the information more, and we need to keep on doing the fight.
Right on.
All right. That's all I have to say for this call. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right, shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. 559, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, Pastor from California. How's it going?
It's all well, man. How about yourself?
Good, man. Good hearing from you. How was Mom's on Mother's Day? Did you go over and celebrate with the fam?
Now, I was here on Mother's Day. I was back in Virginia last Mother's Day. I'm going to try to get back to Virginia like sometime in the summertime.
Oh, I got you. Well, awesome, man. Hey, I just wanted to say that seeing Ron DeSantis send 1,000 troops over to the border to Texas to help out those folks with the Texas military and Texas National Guard is awesome. And I also seen on Twitter Alabama was going to be sending troops. So what I'm hoping is that all of the conservative states get together and send their troops, which is what I think is what they're doing. And then they can kind of, quote unquote, tank the border with the incoming flow, supplementing for the federal government just not being there.
Yeah, it sounds good to me. And I think that'd be a way for us to just to get around the federal government and show the people that the federal government not doing their job. They're supposed to be protecting the border. They're in charge of national security, but now the states got to step in and step up. So I think there should be less faith in the federal government, and we should focus more on what each individual state is doing.
I agree. I think there's more power behind that sort of ideology and that sort of framework than the federal government, because, you know, I was talking to a buddy that he's in the military, and he was saying, you know, even like, you know, the actual military, not the National Guard, it's so massive because there's hundreds of bases all over the world that, you know, to get the gears moving, it takes forever. Even if they do have good intentions or not, you know, you won't be seeing things actually go into effect for months to years, you know.
Right.
I think Mayorkas should be impeached. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's no question, because clearly he's not doing his job.
Yeah. You know, he just sat up there in Congress and lied and blew smoke up the House of Representatives derriere, you know, and he just doesn't seem like an honest guy. He seems like a total snake oil salesman. And I wish that we had somebody like Tom Homan in there, because if we had a person like that, or I was trying to think of the other guy, you know, they had the border locked down. And under Trump, I mean, it's just so night and day. Did you see Owen Schroyer down there on Twitter by chance? How he was filming and having the Border Patrol and the actual military like block off with trucks and cars and buses and stuff, so people cannot see what they're doing with the migrants.
I most certainly did see that. That was amazing. Very good journalism from him and good words. No, somebody's going to try to say that he was being dramatic and all this and that, but I thought what he said was right on point.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, it's exactly what it is. You know, the camera doesn't lie, especially in this instance, and it's a total invasion. And, you know, I really do hope that things don't get so overwhelming over there that it becomes just like some sort of stampede catastrophe. And I hope that, you know, they're really able to vet people who are coming into this country at least somewhat, because from what I was seeing, the majority of the migrant males that they have coming into the country are from Middle Eastern descent, and they're like totally combat age, ready to go to war. I mean, did you notice that too? They were like, they weren't Hispanic, they weren't South American, they were like, you know, from the Middle East.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're from all over the world. I saw the Middle Eastern guys. I saw the Chinese guys from all over the world. They had Africans, West Africans, they had everybody. You know, people don't really understand that. It's not just Mexicans coming across looking for a better life, all kind of excuses. No, it's the whole world coming here through the border because they know it's wide open. They can get in without having to go through the legal immigration process.
Right. Yeah, I really do hope that, you know, we just put a cork in it and stop that flow, and hopefully by whatever means necessary, in my opinion, you know, I hope that by whatever means necessary, because, you know, it is an invasion and it is our sovereignty with our country. So anyway, ABL, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that. I appreciate for you allowing me to have the time, and good phone call as always, ABL. You take care.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Is this no white guilt?
It is no white guilt. Can you hear me all right, brother?
I hear you well.
Oh, man, great to talk with you. You have so many callers to come. Some of them are great people. Some of them really got some interesting things to say. Very smart people. I really like that police officer that calls in. I really like it when you have some of these folks that are kind of like midget-witted and they want to take you on. I think that's hilarious every single time I hear that. But you do a great job with those callers. It gets terribly interesting and entertaining all at once. But you know what, man? This is a great show tonight. You're having a really strong performance. There's so many things going on. I guess I'll just one thing I really want to ask you about. The first thing I want to say is with this housing, though, with the housing and this pursuit, and many folks in our community, our circles, they laud and lionize and worship the profit very often. And it's like this idea of laissez-faire capitalism is all that is sacrosanct. And then the lives of Americans that are hurt in the process are kind of like secondary. It's like, well, the company's doing good, or well, people have more money in their pockets or in their bank accounts, and that's what matters. I'd rather have a government that intervenes at times, especially when it is our jobs are being taken away, or when they're putting small amounts, it's of course small, very small amounts of poison in all of our food, so that when we eat everything we are going to consume, we end up completely poisoned. I'd rather have a government that stepped in there and said, no, you're not going to do that to the people. But then you have this issue with the National Guards I wanted to ask you about. It's only a minor question, and maybe the audience in the chat, they can answer it too. But the National Guards can be federalized at any time, and therefore, they're in the line of authority to the federal government. And if they show up on the border between Texas and Mexico, is there anything they can really do that the federal government wouldn't allow or would object to? I mean, I guess that's sort of an aside. The thing I really want to ask you about is this. You mentioned it tonight about folks coming across, they might have some sort of pox that definitely is not a homosexual pox or anything of this nature, but some sort of a pox or anything else, they might come across with. A lot of Democrat voters in New York even talking about my kids and what's going to happen at the school. These people could have diseases, the kind of thing that would get the likes of us practically put under the jail, at least socially. So these folks are going to be coming in, and we just had this education from this pandemic, this COVID, and we saw a lot of people handle this in a really, really bad way. And some folks handled it in a mature way. I actually think I did a pretty good job when the word was very first being spread that there was this disease, and it was airborne. And of course, you could also catch it by contact. I took basic precautions, things like increased sanitizer use, and was actually one of the first to, because I didn't know. Nobody knew anything. In fact, at this point, they were just beginning to tell folks about China. Does anybody ever talk about this anymore? All the videos of the people like dying on the streets in China. Does anybody? I mean, it's just like, can we just put that down the memory hole? I guess we don't talk about it anymore. But that sort of thing was going on. Some people went really crazy over this, and we might be right at the precipice of another crazy. We got an election coming up, and we know that the guy who's running on the Democrat side, he's the absolute winner without question of a doubt. I think it was like, 700 million votes he got in the United States
right.
From his basement?
Yeah, pretty much. All the votes in the world plus some.
Yes, that's exactly. So are we going to see an issue with another disease? And if so, if that might happen, how would you recommend people, now knowing what we know, approach it? Because what if it's a real virus? What if it's just another magnification of fear for something that everybody can handle if they catch it? I mean, really, how should we approach this? I would like to get your thoughts on that. And I'll just jump off and so other folks can call in, man. But I appreciate you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
So how do you approach any kind of situation where there's like some kind of pandemic looming, some kind of disease that they're talking about, anything like that? I mean, what can you really do? What can you do? The whole thing about quarantining and all that, I think they said it didn't even work. Quarantining, mask, all of that stuff didn't even work. Stay in your house. How long you gonna stay in your house? Forever? I mean, really, at a certain point, if we become I Am Legend, well, you better have your pistol, have your weapons ready to roll, and have some sharp instruments so you can chop them heads off of them walking zombies, them slow walking zombies. Chop them heads off. I mean, seriously, like, what are you gonna do? The whole thing about locking down, I mean, the dumbest thing in the world. You're gonna kill the economy because you're scared to die. It's like crawling into a casket and closing the lid because you don't want to die. Well, you're not living either, are you? I'll keep on living, really, and just have common sense approaches. I'm not trying to be all in your face, breathing your air and all that. I don't know. Some things are kind of common sense. Remember remember when remember when the virus first came about? I always tell this story. I was in LA right when the virus first popped. This was in March of 2020, over 3 years ago, right? And this is like March 14th. This is right when the virus first popped. And I remember people were in the bathroom washing their hands like I'd never seen before. It's like, look, we're in the airport, we're in LAX, using the bathroom, you should wash your hands, right? But now everybody's washing their hands. I'm seeing the volume of people. I'm not seeing a higher volume of bathroom users, but I'm seeing a higher volume of hand washers. It's like, well, were you guys not doing that before the pandemic hit? So you go into the bathroom, handling your business, and just walking away. Maybe that's why you got sick. It's because you have unsanitary hygiene. You're not hygienic. What's really going on? You probably go straight from the bathroom, ain't washing your hands, and then go straight to the Chick-fil-A, TGI Fridays, eating a hamburger with your hands. You get all of that in there and wondering why you get sick. Have general hygiene practices. We've discovered germ theory for a while now. We know what the germs are about. We know that if you're not washing your hands, if you're not washing your hind parts, it's going to cause problems. We know that. It ain't nothing. You know what I mean? So that's what I would do. Is just have general basic hygiene practices. You know, that's all you really can do. And just have a common sense approach to life. And it's not enough of that going on in the world. People don't really practice. The common sense ain't too common. That's a thing of the past. Common sense is like something that existed at one point in society, but it doesn't exist too much anymore. AMG says, I remember February 2020 seeing pictures wearing 5-gallon water bottles over their heads. Yeah, I remember that. The 5-gallon water bottles. I remember seeing the what else? I remember seeing the water bottles. I remember seeing the birthday hats for masks. I remember seeing all kind of stuff. When I was in the airport, again, back to LAX, like I've been traveling quite a bit since the virus first popped in 2020, but I've never seen anything quite like when it first hit because people didn't really know what to do. They didn't have the, I don't want to say guidance, but I didn't have the, they didn't have, meaning normies, regular mouth breathers, they didn't have the directives from the government. You understand? They didn't have the instructions. All they had was just, okay, I got to cover my mouth up some kind of way. I don't want to get this thing in my nose and my mouth and everything else. People were putting T-shirts over their face. One guy had a plaid sweatshirt tied over his mouth, everything. And it's like, yo, that ain't working, man. One person had a scouring pad on their mouth with some rubber bands over it to hold it in place. It's like, what is that going to do? And you probably didn't use that scouring pad to wash dishes. You got all type of spaghetti and meatballs and everything else on the night before in your mustache and your beard and your lips. What are you even doing? It's weird. Yeah, definitely wash your hind parts for sure. I'm seeing everything though. I saw one person, they had an air purifier hanging from their mask. The air purifier was like a desk purifier. It had to have been probably about this size, like a water bottle. It was like this size hanging from the mask. It's like, man, what are we even doing? How is it even comfortable? Your head gonna be like, you're gonna be hunched over all day. It's weird. Yeah, the mask mandates didn't do anything. Kai Sparsimus asked me, ABL, do I think Biden will default on our debt? No, I don't think so. I mean, he could, but I don't think so. I think they're going to try to do something else. I don't think the whole debt ceiling thing is even really an issue. I think it's a distraction. They always do this. Every single time they do this, it's like clockwork. They always do the same thing. It's weird. Anonymous caller, who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL.
What's going on?
Man, what's going on? You put out a video today, man. Extremely misleading again, man.
Okay, what did I do?
Extremely misleading. First of all, the asylum seekers, they are not illegal immigrants. I think you should read about the asylum seeker laws, at least the basic one, the basic information. The second thing is, in order to seek asylum, you must be at the border, at a port of entry, or inside the country. Otherwise, the person don't qualify for asylum.
So how did they? So wait a minute. So I have a question. How did they get inside the country?
Well, but you could come by plane.
No. How did they get inside the country? Like, what was the method? The people that are coming in these buses, how did they get inside the country?
Through the port of entry in Texas.
But how? Would they just walk over?
Well, you show up. Okay, let me explain to you. You show up. You say that you are an asylum seeker. You live in extremely violent in your country. Could be one. You could be political persecution. Two. Could be sexual orientation. Three. Could be religious. There are many. Could be civil war. Many issues you could come as a political asylum seeker. So they do the vetting. They check your fingerprint to see they're not looking for you. They do the whole nine. After they do that, they put you in the detention center. So then you're going to get a court date to come back to see a judge, to get your information, to see if you granted the asylum. Where that process goes through, they are legal in the country because they came to the port of entry. So what you're saying is completely incorrect.
Okay. So what's the percentage of those who get a court date who actually come back for the court date? What's the percentage?
I don't know what is the percentage.
Okay. It's a very low percentage. Now you gonna tell me I'm lying about that?
I'm not saying that you're lying. But
all right then. So what are we talking about? And it's disgusting. People come across falsely seeking asylum, and they could have probably sought it in a different country rather than the U.S. Coming from all over the world, trying to quote unquote seek asylum. People from China, Africa, everywhere else, flying on the plane. Okay. And you said that. You said when I asked you earlier, and I said, how are they getting? You said, oh no, they could fly on the plane. Why are you flying on the plane to come to the U.S. to seek asylum? That doesn't make any sense. Well, if you could, excuse me, if you could fly on the plane, you must be doing okay for yourself, and you should be able to find a different country over where you came from that's closer than the U.S. to seek asylum there. I'm just saying.
Okay, so let me explain to you again. Most asylum seekers don't come by plane. Some of them do. For example,
you're the one that said it. You the one that said it. I'm just talking about what you said.
That's what I'm saying. But let me explain. You don't allow me to explain. You could go, for example, like happened to Ilan Omar. She went to Germany. From Germany, she seek asylum to come to the U.S. A lot of them go to third world countries. You could go to Italy and seek asylum in the U.S. because you have family in the U.S. and it's more convenient to you to be with your family. You see, if you don't like the laws, and instead of making these videos, what you should be doing, writing a letter
wait a minute,
to your
excuse
Congress
me.
people.
So did Ilhan Omar come through southern border? Is that how she came through? Like, how did she actually get to the United States? Oh, okay.
No,
so
she went to Germany.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. When she came to the U.S., did she come through southern border? Was it like just kind of sneaking asylum that way? Like, how did she get into the United States?
Well, because her country was in a civil war.
You're not answering the question. And then, how did she get into the United States? Like the method?
By plane, flying by plane.
Okay,
flying.
So she flew to where?
I don't know where she flew. I know she flew to the U.S.
You know what you're talking about then? You're just kind of talking.
No, I'm not just kind of talking. I'm trying to explain to you there's different ways. There's one way is at the port of entry, that is the border. You could come by the ports. That means you could come in a ship from China and you say, I want to seek asylum because of the country, the communist regime is harassing me or threatening my family.
So you're gonna come from China, bypassing the whole of Asia, all of Southeast Asia, Australia, everywhere closer to the United States. You're going to come all the way here talking about I'm seeking asylum. Does that make any sense to you? They could go to Australia. Australia is not that far away from China. It's closer than the U.S. It's in the Pacific. It's right there. Why you got to come all the way here to Mexico?
That's what I just said to you. If you don't like the law should be changed. Biden has nothing to do with this law. This law was established in 1932.
But why are there so many quote unquote asylum seekers now compared to when Trump was in office?
Well, I explained it to you last week because the title 14. I don't want to go through all that again. I explained that to you.
So are we having an influx of new people that need to seek asylum, or is it just our laws are taken advantage of and the lack of people? Excuse me. The lack of people in the government who are able to enforce laws on the books, and they're also allowing the border to be wide open. That's a government decision. We already said that last time. So you said the same thing.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
You just said it. You said that the Title 42 ended. I'm talking about, well, under Trump, that was there. We had tougher laws to be able to get into the country, remain in Mexico. All this. Excuse me. You just said it though. You said Title 42 ended.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so what
Title
you say?
42 is not from Trump. Title 42 was established in the 1930s.
But you just said you mentioned Title 42 just now.
But you cannot establish Title 42 now because the virus ends.
You mentioned Title 42 just now. Why you bring it up?
Yes, because dude, do you know how the laws work in the US?
No, sir. You mentioned it. So why'd you mention it? Because I asked you, the question I asked you was, excuse me, sir. The question I asked you was about why are there so many quote unquote asylum seekers now versus the time under Trump? And then you brought up Title 42. Why'd you bring it up?
Because that's the reality. When you implemented Title 42 because of the virus, people couldn't come. You couldn't come. You could be expelled according to the law. It is the law. If you don't like the law,
and also, to your Congress. Remain in Mexico. What? That was under Trump, right? Remain in Mexico. That was under Trump.
That's nothing to do with Trump. It was he used the law, a law that was specifically for a specific purpose. So that means if it's a virus that they might be afraid.
Let's skip past Trump though. We have like all-time highs of border crossings right now. So this is even beyond Trump. This is more than Obama. This is more than Bush. It's more than Bill Clinton. Everybody. So why is it so high?
I just explained.
So high right now. But okay,
because of the law.
Okay, so
because of the law.
So what laws do we have now that were not under George Bush or Barack Obama? You said
number one but you're going to allow me to explain?
No, hold on. You said, because you're talking about Trump just now, so give me the other presidents.
But you're going to allow me to explain?
Go ahead, Go ahead.
Okay, so during when Obama was president, the problem in Venezuela is not like it is now with Chavez.
Okay.
That was one thing. Another problem, we didn't have the problem with Nicaragua, with Somoza and the Sandinistas. We have the Somoza problem. In Haiti, we didn't have the problem with that instability there. And also,
excuse
Obama
me. Wait. Hold on. Now, the Haitians, they've been in South America since the earthquake back in 2005. So why are they just now coming over? They bypassed Obama and Trump.
But do you know what's going on in Haiti right now because they killed the president?
I know they got gangs and stuff running around, but the problem. Excuse me. I'm gonna answer the question that you asked me. No, they got gangs and stuff. Ain't no government. They overthrew the president, but they've been doing.
So
excuse me. I'm not done talking. Excuse me. Not done talking. Be quiet. They've been having the same problem in Haiti for a long time with political instability, coups, and everything. That's been going on for a long time. The big problem with Haiti. Excuse me. I'm not done talking, sir. The big problem that happened was back in the earthquake time. That's the big problem that happened. That's when a lot of Haitians came to South America and stayed there. They've been in places like Chile and whatnot for like 15 years. And they came across now because it's easy. They can just come straight through. They didn't come during Obama. They didn't come during Trump. They want to come right now because you're soft. That's what's going on. They're not enforcing the border laws. They're not enforcing the laws that we have on the books.
If the law said that
but I think that's enough. Thank you for the call. I appreciate you. All right, shout out to Ivan. That's enough.
Not for like
773 the line I'm speaking to.
ABL, there is no greater justice than taking my call right after Ivan. It's your retired Chicago police officer friend. And thanks for getting to my call, ABL. First of all, real quickly, and by the way, I think it's important to have somebody like Ivan on the show. So I'm glad he's here. But he's 100% wrong, but I'm glad he's here anyway. But number one, I'd like to quickly say to the guy that asked why blacks are killing blacks. And it's a simple answer for me. The simple answer is criminals commit crimes where they live, and they don't care about who their victim is. So if you're a criminal and a young black criminal in the black neighborhood, you're going to commit crimes against other blacks. If you're Puerto Rican and you live in a primarily Puerto Rican area, you are going to commit crimes against Puerto Ricans. And you know what? Unfortunately, Chicago is very segregated in that way. We work together, but we live separately. Other places, they work separately, but live close in proximity, depending on your city. So to me, that's a simple answer. Criminals commit crimes where they live. So that's why you have black on black crime. They don't care. And, it's actually quite refreshing in a way that they don't discriminate. They don't care who you are. They don't care if you're old. They don't care if you're black. They don't care if you're white. They're looking for a victim. And that's who's around to be victimized are other people in your community. So that's the quick answer to that. Now, ABL, I hope you would indulge me. I know this is probably the last call in the night, but you won't see this on any website because this is purely a Chicago creation for a sanctuary city. I got my hands on the flyer that they are giving every immigrant that comes here to Chicago, to our sanctuary city. As I told you last week, they're having 15, 20 people at a time coming into the lobby of the police station. It looks like a homeless shelter. Then, as you might recall, they're taking those homeless, they're bringing them to the park house to give them a place to stay in a park house as a temporary stay. Here's the flyer. Let me just please quote on there. Here's what it says. Welcome to Chicago. We are glad you are here. Daily schedule. And it says, volunteers will meet you at the police station and walk you to the Family Empowerment Center. And it gives an address. So the police station and the address of the power center changes depending on what side of town you're on, but it gives the local police station. So that's your first stop is the police station. Then these, bleeding heart liberals come in and then they guide you through this. It says, number 2, you will receive a breakfast and lunch at the Family Empowerment Center. You will have access to showers. Volunteers with Alderman so-and-so's office will guide you to the United Church, blah, 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 the local church in that area. It says you will be together at the church with volunteers and access to organizations that provide services. Volunteers will help guide you back to the police station. Volunteers will bring you dinner at the police station. You will work together to clean up your shared space and prepare to sleep for the night. It says the police will turn off the lights and so and blah, blah, blah. Then here's the good part, ABL. Thanks for your patience. It talks about the police station. Here's what it talks about. Respite center. As space becomes available, you may be moved to a location that has cots for sleeping and food on site while you wait for a more private facility. Social services and medical care will be provided at this time. You may continue to receive support from volunteer groups coordinating. Now, here's the biggie here. Space with beds and showers. When space is available, you will move to a facility that offers more privacy, a bed, and basic food. Once you are settled, here's the big thing, the ABL. Once you are settled, you will receive assistance from the from DFSS, the Department of I forget what that is. It's a social worker department. Workers will help you apply for asylum seeker emergency rental assistance, and the emergency rental assistance program that will provide rental assistance for 8 months.
Wow.
6 months, I apologize. 6 months. We are able to stay at the you are able to stay at the shelter with more private rooms, blah blah blah. But it actually helps them fill out the seeking asylum paperwork for our government. Here's the thing, ABL. When you're on welfare, your friends and family, they teach each other how to scam the welfare system. That's what happens. You know, they let you know, oh, don't say you make this much money. Don't let them know your boyfriend or your, baby's daddy is living here. Otherwise, you're going to be disqualified. They teach each other how to do it. But here's the thing. That's normal. That's human nature. For me to help my friend guide you through whatever you're doing, whether it's real estate or anything else, if you're my friend, I'm going to guide you with my knowledge. But when our government is helping immigrants, illegal aliens, to get through the system to apply for political asylum. You mean to tell me that the cartels 10 million immigrants have gone through our border from all over the world, and they're all, they all have a death warrant on their heads? They're all trying to reach asylum here? They're fleeing poverty, and that's not enough of a reason. I feel for people like that. I understand in your country, there's poverty, and you're not going to get out because there's no opportunity. You want to come to America, the land of opportunity, where if you work hard and do the right thing, you can get a leg over and make something for yourself. But for our government to be teaching people how to apply for political asylum. Here, check this box. Is your life in danger? Yes, it's in danger. The cartel is after me, or Al-Qaeda is after me, or Somali pirates are after me, so I had to flee Somalia. It's ridiculous that our government is doing this. You know why, ABL? Because they want to get as many of those illegals here in this country, and they want them to stay. Because there have been political people already, senators or whatnot, that have thrown up that red herring and said, you know what? The people that are here now. They're part of our society, and they should have a right to vote. No, they shouldn't have a right to vote. They want them to have a right to vote because they want their political power to last for decades, which it would if you have an influx of 10 million immigrants. Immigrants are going to vote for who got them here, not for Trump or anybody else that might tell them and knock on their door and said, hey, you got to go back. But I've always said this, ABL, and I'll end my thing here now. I've always said this. Once you are here, just like with voter fraud, once you throw those fake votes into the pot of legal votes, there's no distinguishing them anymore. It's like throwing too much salt into the soup. You can't get it out. Once these people are here, they are here to stay. Let's just say that there were 10 million or 5 million. Like I said before, maybe 5% try to come back for their court date, but the majority of people are here to stay, and our country can't absorb that. And it's a shame that our government is trying to teach these people how to scam the system by saying this is how you should answer these questions. Here's the paperwork. We are going to spell it out for you. Here's what you do at 10 o'clock in the morning. Here's what you do at noon. You're going to go over here. Here's how you get social services. They don't spell that out for people that have been citizens here forever. They don't spell those things out. How to work through Medicare and choose the right, medical program, and so it doesn't cost you more money. They don't care about you, but yet they care about these immigrants. We're going to hold your hand, and it makes it sound like I'm hateful toward the immigrants, which I am not. I'm not hateful toward these people. As a matter of fact, having been a police officer for as long as I have, I'm more optimistic because I met more nice people than bad people. And I've met some killers, some very bad people, but they are a small segment of the black community. They're a small segment of the Puerto Rican community. They're a small segment of the white community. They're a handful of knuckleheads that take over through force. And that's why you have to have somebody there to stop their force, because that's what the mafia is all about. That's what these tyrants are all about, and all these terrorists is they get changed by force. What are you going to do when someone just starts killing you or hunting you? You must either defend yourself or give up. And this is what's happening. That's why you want the government to protect us on that, but stay out of our lives otherwise. So that's my 2 cents, ABL. Thank you for letting me go on a little bit longer than normal, and I appreciate it, and I'll talk to everybody later.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Thanks, ABL.
Wow. Great call from my retired Chicago police officer friend to close out the show. Very good call. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you couldn't get on tonight, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Please blame the white man. But I'll be back live again on Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's right around right now, 11 p.m. I got videos coming out, of course, tomorrow. I got quite a few I've already recorded. I got so much content. It's just crazy. Thank you all for being here again. I appreciate you. Listening to audio streaming. I'm a little tired. I got to get myself together. You listen to a podcast right now, it'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And thank you to all the mods for keeping the trolls in check, keeping the chat nice and tight and together and clean. Thank you guys for watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I couldn't do the show without you. Again, I'll be back live again on Saturday. Please, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. I don't know what you're waiting on. Should have been subscribed a long time ago. And tell a friend and tell a friend. Also, turn on that notification bell if you've not done so already. Thank you in advance for doing that. I appreciate you. And I got like a few super chats right here. I'll read those right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. All righty. Thank you to Court McQuire for your donation. Thank you to Kais Poshmus, who says, ABL, do you think Biden will default? Already read that one. I don't think he's going to default. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, can you play the woke Miller Lite commercial so you can give them a good roasting? Yeah, I might have to play that next time because I'm way over the time. Thank you to Kais Poshmus, who says, funny how all the illegals will show up wearing Nikes. Oh, yeah, they dress super nice. They dress beautifully, ain't they? Like they about to go to somebody's birthday party. Oh, yeah, I done seen them wearing purses and shoes and cell phones and all that. Yeah. People think that all these illegal aliens are coming across with nothing. That's not necessarily the case. A lot of times they pay good money to come to the country illegally because they got to pay coyote, and then they want to come over here to make money. They come over here and start businesses, and they get money. They get big-time money. It's simple. Thank you to R. Scott, who says, this Ivan claims he knows what's right. How come you import crude manners? Why so much litter and trash where Ivans have been? Hey, I don't know nothing about that, but I think that will be a wrap for me. You guys have been fantastic. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.